Welcome to our Rolemaster actual play session. Twilight of the Old Order and Ain't No Place for a Hero are two campaigns currently co-joined, set in the world of Duranarki, the continent of men. In this gritty, cutthroat world, politics, religion, and commerce are all intertwined and reign supreme. Characters need to be both smart and ruthless to survive. We hope you enjoy our story, and, as always, may the dice roll in your favor. This is episode 131 of Twilight of the Old Order and episode 108 of Ain't No Place for a Hero. Several days ago, the two parties reconvened and now find themselves undertaking a perilous mission on a forsaken, decaying, and long-forgotten island. We pick up the story as the party has relocated down the rocky shoreline from the cave. Tarquin has just slain two foes in a desperate fight by himself, and three new ships have entered the bay. Hello, I'm Chris, otherwise known as GM Chance, and, as the words say on the screen, welcome to our story. Or more accurately, not one story, but two. You'll see a lot of characters. If you're unfamiliar with our channel, you'll see a lot of characters up on screen. The reason for that is we have two campaigns. One campaign is called Twilight of the Old Order, and the second campaign is Ain't No Place for a Hero. These two games running co-jointly, at the same time, in the same world, often dealing with the same themes, have interwoven. So the plot lines and the storylines with these two games and the characters have interwoven several times. This is in fact the third time that the two groups have come together. So there are a lot of characters I should say, up on screen. And in a second or two, I'm going to ask the players of those characters to provide a very quick summary of who they're playing. And then we'll also do a character development question in a second as well. Before I do, my very quick thanks to our supporters, the people that follow us, the people that give us thumbs up, that give us moral support, that provide suggestions and ideas, etc. It really is appreciated. Thank you very much. What we'd say to anybody that happens to perhaps have stumbled across this channel for the first time, or maybe you've watched one or two and you're just kind of getting into it, from us to you, it would be a real help for us in terms of growing the channel and helping other people find our content if you could give us a quick like down below, or even better, a subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. Alright, no further ado, we're going to hand over to Pete to introduce the characters that he's playing tonight, and then the rest of the players will do the same. Take it away, Pete!
Hi, I'm Pete, and in this episode I'll be playing Leif. Leif is a half-elf warrior mage, which means he uses weapons as well as magic. He's a friendly fellow, very empathetic, and a really kind member of the party.
Kia ora, I'm Mason, and for this episode I'm playing Demos. He's a very attractive, very hunky, very buff mixed man. Really great with his spear and shield, and he can whip out some swords if he needs to. He's not the most intelligent person, but he makes up for it with a lot of kindness, a lot of gentleness, except for when he's fighting. And he's been with the party for a little while, has thoroughly enjoyed his time with them, is very much looking forward to saving the world, and on the side he is looking and hoping to find his long lost sister that was kidnapped a long time ago.
Hi, I'm Graham. I play Nyathonal Sherakir. She is a Magent, which is a mix of stealthy skills, fighting skills, and magic skills, mentalism. magic of the mind. She is a complex character, something of a religious fundamentalist who believes in assassination as a sacred endeavour. She keeps that well hidden, however. She is, however, a dab hand with a short sword and uses her magic and sneaky ability to good use in sneaking up on her adversaries.
Hi, my name's Giles, and for this episode I'm playing Tarquin. So Tarquin is a young, ridiculously good-looking half-elf. During his early life and adolescence, he's been well trained in the gentle arts of thievery, charming others using his remarkably good looks, and of course, violence. He is in his own way a religious man, and he's out looking for some understanding as to what's happened to his homelands.
Kia ora, I'm Alex, and for this episode I'm playing Keros. Keros is a young North woman. She's a weather mage, a pretty powerful weather mage with some very cool spells. She's quite sweet and kind, a bit emotionally labile, but wears a heart on her sleeve and a strong moral compass. She also has a companion, a cat called Victory, who's a very important member of the party, and Victory was rescued, oh there's Victory, a wee while ago from impending doom.
Hello, I'm Graham. I play Etienne Gilderflower. He is a genitrist, which is a type of paladin or holy warrior. He follows the teachings of Aphrodite, the goddess of love, and he believes that her will leads him on, and he makes decisions based on the dreams he receives or thinks he receives from his goddess. He has joined the party on the mission to, as he understands it, to save the old order, the world as they know it. He is a very charming, very good-looking man, a very eccentric man. Speaks in riddles and rhymes most of the time, but he believes on a higher purpose. He's a very dab hand with a sword, usually found in full plate.
Kia ora, I'm Pete, and I'll be playing Mithan in this episode. Mithan is a ranger. She's a high man. She's pretty good at outdoor skills, and she's a pretty good archer. She's not a people person. She doesn't really care about people's feelings, although she's beginning to in this party.
Hi, I'm Aiden, and I'm playing Gray. Gray is a very handsome half-elf who doesn't really believe in wearing shirts. He's constantly just displaying his body all the time, which, you know, he's got it, so he's flaunting it. He's got a bit of a tragic backstory. Pretty much everyone he's ever really cared about has been murdered brutally, but despite that, he's still a lovely guy. He's very caring, cares a lot about his teammates and also animals, loves animals, as he is a beastmaster, so he has the power to kind of, I don't know, not control, well, he can control animals, but he can also kind of interact with them and understand them and get them to help him do what he needs to do. And when he's not using his magic, he is a bit of a dab hand with an axe. He is very good at chopping things, chopping enemies, and also good with a little bit of stabby and a crossbow as well. He has a bird called Wingy that is his best friend that needs to have a bit more of a story, I guess. She'll come into it a bit more like down the road, I think. Yeah, that's great.
Hello, I'm Graham, and I play Severin Kaidegard, who is a human swordsman. A dab hand at the sword, has spent his whole life training in swordsmanship. He is a very charming fellow and fancies himself as a bit of a leader.
Hi, I'm Stara. I play Jada. She's a 6'7" Arab-looking woman. She fights with a quarterstaff, but not often because she's a healer. She grew up in a monastery where they adopted her, and she has just been taught how to heal, do martial arts. That's all she's done her entire life.
Hello, I'm Graham, and I'm playing Tanya Anastasia, who is an elven hunter. Dab hand with a bow. She has some outdoor skills, some very adept sneaky skills, and is an interesting personality, a little bit spiky, a little bit difficult to know, but inside, a good egg.
Kia ora everyone, my name's Anthony, and for this episode I'm playing Ascallion, or Ascal for short. He's a tall half-elf warrior mage who comes from the port city of Shabibi, and accordingly his favourite weapon is his ornate cutlass. As a warrior mage, Ascal combines his offensive and defensive spells along with his prowess with his cutlass and in unarmed combat.
Kia ora, my name's Pete, and I'll be playing Nicholas in this episode. Nicholas is a common man and a mentat by profession. That means he is a spell user, and he uses spells from the mentalism realm. Nicholas is a quiet and sort of unassuming sort of fellow. He doesn't like to draw attention to himself.
There we go, gentle viewer or gentle listener. Those are the players in our game, or the majority of the players in our game. We do have some players missing tonight. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully those faces up on screen are slightly less mysterious than they were. Alright, just before we kick off into a quick recap of what happened last session, on a Monday of each week, we usually play on a Wednesday as we are tonight. I send out a list of questions out to the team. Character development questions. Questions that help the players think a bit more in depth about their character, a bit more about their background, their likes, their dislikes, their prejudices, whatever. The players like it, I believe, because it just allows them to think about their characters in a slightly different way. I certainly gain benefit out of it as a storyteller, as I learn more about the people the characters in the story. And we've got some good feedback too from people that watch this channel. That's why we do it. And tonight's kicking us off with some character development questions, with a character development question, is Giles. Giles, take it away, please.
Thanks. So the question for Tarquin tonight is, how does your character feel about the concept of punishment for crimes? And do they believe in rehabilitation or more punitive measures? Well, I think Tarquin would tell you that punishment is the natural consequence of crimes. And sometimes those are crimes of character or existence, not necessarily just things you do. And he's always been taught that. And he would have said to you that rehabilitation is simply a synonym for weakness. However, shortly before heading out to explore the world, one or two events happened in his life that's made him question this, and he's yet to have this directly challenged since. So it makes him feel a little uncomfortable about what happens when he's confronted with a crime and how he might need to respond to that. And I'll pass it over to Steve.
To who, sorry?
I'll pass it over to Pete. How about Pete? How about I pass it over to you?
Pete.
Cool, thank you. Very interesting. We're still getting to know Tarquin a bit, I think. Yeah. So, for Leif, the question would be, how does your character perceive the concept of mercy, and do they believe in redemption for those who have committed morally questionable actions? Yeah, he definitely does. He's a compassionate person. He does. So he does believe in genuine change in people. Yeah, if people are truly repentant or can prove that they have regret what they did, he does believe in mercy, and he does believe in giving second chances. But not naively. For Nathan and Nicholas, can answer the same question. Describe a moment when your character faced a moral dilemma involving the fate of a defeated enemy. How do they decide their opponent's fate? I'm thinking particularly of the thing that happened the previous day still? Yeah, we'd captured one of the TPP people and we were questioning him. So we had to decide his fate. Basically, we'd defeat the rest of his party and, yeah. Mithan was, both Nicholas and Mithan saw him and his fate as being quite functional. We needed information, and so what we did in the questioning was the sensible thing to do. It was obvious, and no qualms about that for either of them. Mithan saw him as a threat, and so therefore it would make complete sense that once we were finished with him, he was to be killed. Just remove the threat. Nicholas, on the other hand, yeah, he saw it as also, sort of much the same way. That he didn't particularly care what happened to him, but it made most sense to kill him once we'd finished with him. Can we please hand over to Graham?
Yeah, sure. Probably all my characters, how do they feel about the concept of punishment for crimes? I think we probably, depends on your system of justice, and I think we've had such variance over the course of this game in terms of what constitutes law and justice that I don't think that they have a lot of respect in many cases for a lot of the systems they've come up against. I also don't know if rehabilitation is even a thing. They all have various, moral beliefs, but in terms of the state punishing people for crimes, I guess, we've all done some questionable things too, so I guess that was probably a big grey area. However, they do, all apart from Niathanol, they would believe in the concept of mercy. To varying degrees, whereas Niathanol is neither here nor there about it really. She's a bit more devil may care about death, and is quite willing to dispatch a person even if they're, would be less concerned about that, I guess. So passing over to Aidan.
Hello. I will be answering the crime and punishment question as well. I think Ray would love the idea of the rehabilitation, and I think, I think he'd believe in it for certain crimes, but then in other crimes, I think, revenge is probably the only way to answer those crimes, and he would be very much a fan of committing that revenge if it was affecting him. Mm-hmm. He's currently plotting revenge on people that have killed a member of their party, and he's always plotting revenge on the people that killed his parents and the people that killed his teacher and all the other people in his life that have been senselessly murdered.
Here I was thinking that Gray was a sensitive, marshmallowy kind of soul.
He's pretty sensitive. If you kill somebody that he loves, but he does tend to get a bit annoyed, a bit angry.
How is he feeling about Keros's death, I wonder?
I think he's still quite shell-shocked. It hasn't been that long since it happened, so I don't think he probably would have had time to really process it.
Oh, okay.
No.
Very good. Thank you.
Who is left to hear from? Could we hear from Alex playing Demos, please?
Me!
Hey.
Yes, of course. I'm going to try to do Demos justice with the same question around concept of punishment and rehabilitation. I think it's whatever suits. I think when it comes to his sister and his family background, he'd be very keen on punishment, and not really give it a second thought. Although I note that he does believe in an afterlife, so perhaps there is an idea of rehabilitation or remorse or so on to be better in the afterlife. I also think, to Graham's point, that he's done some pretty questionable stuff, but he would be able to justify that. Means justifying ends and so on. But I think overall he'd be pretty keen on the idea of punishment for evil, for crimes, not necessarily because of what you belong to, or you're a persecuted minority, for example. So I think that would be accurate, but happy to hear if that's not what people think.
Cool. Thank you, and again, my thanks to you for playing a character that isn't your own. Mason wasn't able to join us tonight, and you've kindly stepped in. We also have, just for viewers and and listeners' benefit, Stara, who plays Jadar, is not able to be with us tonight, and we might do a bit of crowdsourcing on what happens with Jadar this evening. And Anthony, who plays Askell, also can't join us tonight. Askell is currently, however, unconscious, so perhaps not too much of a huge deal. All right, so there are the characters concerned. There are the characters in all their glory with their names. You've now got a bit of a sense of who they are, a little bit more information about them. Let's crack into what happened last time. Pete, what we might do is maybe a very quick summation from you what happened last time. We might leave Giles and Jadar's exploits until a bit later on in the game, perhaps for Tarquin to disclose a bit later. But Pete, can you just give us a quick précis of what happened last time?
Sure thing. So we started last session when we were we'd all just come to the mouth, well, either outside the cave or had, some of us had made it out of the cave, some of us were on our way out from this cave here. And during that session, everyone managed to get out, I think, without further loss of life, although it was a near thing for Etienne, I believe.
Etienne, yes. Yep.
So, the whole party is now out of bow shot of that cave for now, or out of danger from that cave for now. Once we were out of the cave, Leif had decided he was going to go and collect that floating rowboat, but Gray noticed, I believe, that the ship that had sailed into the bay had dispatched some longboats, so there was incoming. A bit of a worry there. The rest of the party, we made our way further along the beach towards where our friends were being held, where we had left our friends, and Leif indeed did fly out and start to pull the longboat in. When we reached, and on our way, once we were on our way down to the other end of the beach, Demos came running up and informed us that there was some sort of enchantment, some blackness that had enveloped the far end of the beach, where in fact our friends were, where Tarquin, where Nicholas and Keros and Jadar were. So that's concerning. So we sort of regrouped down there as the boat was being pulled in by Leif, and I think we sort of split time a little bit, because I believe we would want to have taken action based on the information, but also then we sort of jumped forward a bit in time and some other ships arrived. During that time, as Chris had mentioned, there was stuff going on in that blackness for Tarquin and Jada, and we don't know what that was. The rest of the party doesn't know what that was at the moment. But yes, those three ships had come in towards the end of the session, but I believe we had a little bit of time between them arriving and before they arrived with some actions.
Yes, correct, and we'll go over that in a second once we start the game. Thanks, Pete. Really good summation from you. Couple of things to note. Firstly, it actually took Leif a bit more time than he thought to pull this in. I mean, it didn't take hours or anything, but it's quite a heavy boat. You're not flying that fast, and it did actually take some time to pull this reasonably weighty boat. Can I get it? So let's see if I can. All the way into shore. So you definitely did do that. Probably part way while you were doing that, Gray had noticed, yes indeed, that this vessel here had put a number of longboats out, about 4 or 5, and they were moving pretty rapidly towards the shore. Around about the time that, Leif, you were pulling the longboat up onto the shore, so you have got it up here. And Leif, you have come back. Where are you? There you go. You're now back with your companions. Oops, where are you? There you go, Leif. Around that time, just as that was kind of happening, you noticed that the longboats there was a clang on board the ship's bell. On board this ship, very loud. Something like, let's see if I might even have it. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. I love a good sound effect. No, that was not what I was after. It was a lot more frantic than that. But basically, fierce digging and shouting from the ship. And at absolute pace, the longboats that were coming out to the ship sped back, like really fast. The oars people, oars men, oars women, whoever they were, rowing these 4 or 5 longboats out in the direction of the cave specifically, really put their backs into it and motored down back towards the ship, scrambled up on board, and really with a matter of a few minutes between them getting back up on board and this ship weighing anchor and moving off again at speed, rapidly away from Jewel Island. Yes, indeed. 3 vessels hove into view. 1, 2, 3 of them. And we'll go through the various actions in a second that people were doing. Basically, they have rounded these ships have rounded the head. If you imagine far down here, there was like a cape down this way, and you can see basically because of the lights on board the ship, and certainly the elves can see very, very well, that indeed there are 3 vessels out here, and they're rapidly moving up in the direction towards the cave, up in the direction towards where you all are. Probably the first thing to resolve is the Jadar Tarquin situation, and I've been mulling over whether or not I take you into a chat room for this, Giles. I think in the interest of time I probably won't. So let's just take it, Giles, and I would like to start with you, because the actions that actually happened down here would have happened faster than some of this boat stuff that I've just been describing. So that would be slightly delayed. So we've got minorly out of sync in terms of timing here. So Tarquin, can you talk me through what you do with what's just happened with you and Jadar?
Yeah, sure, Chris. And just to clarify, so who did bandits, enemies? Jadar is awake. I've talked to Jadar and explained that I've cast darkness. I think she is safe, and Nicholas is next to her. And I've used perception to look around and can find no other enemies that I can see.
Yep.
Using perception. So that's kind of the state of play. I've collected my sword that I've dropped, so I have all my weapons. And I think what I'd do is say to Jadar, I'm going to...
Hang on, Giles. Sorry, time out. Shame on me. I had one last thing to clarify, and then I didn't say the immortal words of "Let's start the game." I'm really sorry because I stopped you mid-flow. You will recall, by the way, there was one thing you noticed above you, which just as a reminder that you had noticed that others necessarily hadn't. And now we are ready to start the game. And I cut you off mid-flow there, Giles. We are ready. Let's start the game. Go for it.
Right, so Tarquin, just to recap, has made his way over to Jadar, having murdered 2 bad guys. He's collected his swords, where his sword and arrows. We'll look to see if he can collect his arrows. He's explained to Jadar that he's cast darkness, so she doesn't need to worry. She's just woken up, and Nicholas is there and still asleep. He did cast perception to look to see if there was any danger. And hopefully, Chris, you've reminded me there is, but I can't remember for the life of me what it is. and it's not in my chat channel with you.
Yeah.
Should have written it down.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll just jot it down, and you can decide what you do with the information in a second. I will do this. Going into Tarquin's channel. Now this is in Twilight's. Whoops. Typing in capitals.
Tarquin GM channel.
Sorry. Yes, Tarquin GM channel.
Thank you. And just so we're clear, neither Tarquin nor Jada or Nicholas know anything about what's been going on down the other end of the beach.
Correct. Although you would in a minute, probably not yet, but in a minute you'd probably see the ships, but not yet. Yes.
Yeah. So they're completely in the dark about what's happening at the other end of the beach.
Yep. Just coming.
But just while that's coming, to clarify, Tarquin will have surveyed the area, collected his weapons, so he has everything of his back on him.
Yep.
He'll have checked out the arrows that I suspect are unsalvageable, but he's going to look to see about it.
Yep.
That's right. Now Tarquin needs to get his bag, large bucks that has his stuff in it, some of which is good for healing, and has been cautious about that. He's going to tell Jada that the darkness spell will last 50 minutes if we want it to. So we've got an hour of protection. And so what Tarquin's going to do is make time swiftly to the edge of the 100-metre darkness circle. He can see in this darkness as if it wasn't there, but knows Jada can't. We'll tell Jada to sit tight. He wants to go and see if he can make contact with the rest of the party to find out what's going on.
Okay, cool. All right. So, yes, easy. Oops. So you indeed do exactly that. So Tarquin, you set off down here. Some trepidation. By the way, that information is in your chat.
Got it.
Yep. You head down the beach, and you probably get to the rest of the party. The darkness, by the way, ends here.
Yeah.
You can see those red counters. You probably get to the party where Nicholas is not quite at the probably just coming into the beach, and that first ship is rapidly heading away. So Tarquin, you've just arrived back. What do you do and say? Oh, one last thing I meant to say. The two groups, I have naturally kind of split them up somewhat with your allies, question mark, here. They're keeping a bit of distance from you. They're kind of, yes, you fought alongside them, but, they're kind of eyeing you a bit suspiciously. They're in a reasonably bad state as well, with at least two of their people, their leader and one of their others, either dead or unconscious, people attending to them. And they're keeping, a certain degree of distance from you. They're not mixing and mingling. Over to you how you want to handle that. And round about now, Tarquin, you arrive. Play it from there, please.
Okay, so I'm going to notice there's a bunch of strangers I don't know, so I'm going to call people over, and I'm going to tell them in a quiet voice so the others don't overhear that I've cast darkness. Jada is awake. Nicholas is unconscious. I've killed 2 enemy soldiers. Don't know who they are. I offered them the opportunity to talk. They simply attacked me. And I'm going to let them know before I left to come down the beach. I've looked around and the rope bridge right at the very top of the zigzag is back intact. And possibly, I saw someone up there. So there may in fact be more people coming down the beach who are 2 injured allies. I'm going to notice that people are injured. I'm going to let people know I want to get my pack from the top of the cliff face. It has healing herbs in it that may be of value. And I'm going to ask someone if they can give me a brief rundown of what's going on. I'll describe the uniforms the 2 soldiers were wearing and ask the crew quietly if they look like their so-called allies.
So do they sound like Roldenics?
Let's say Tarquin describes not pretty much, he describes exactly these two. You can see them up on screen now. Upside down.
Do they look like Roldenics?
Yep, they're Roldenics. That's their tracker. Those are their trackering experts. And he's got a...
So I guess I think we'd probably say to Tarquin that with some urgency, these guys are out to kill us. We need to get off this beach really bloody quickly. We're absolutely shagged. Let's grab the others, get on this boat, get the hell out of Dodge. Right now.
Leif will offer to go and get the cats from the top of the cliff. Because it's got fly spell on.
Okay.
So Etienne will come with you, and then we'll maybe a few of us could drag the others back this way. Well, actually, we don't. Yeah.
Would we be better?
Greg can do some dragging.
I think you made it here in one round. It's going to take a little while to drag the boat, I think. So we may as well just all move together. Get on. The rest of us get on the boat. The others grab the people. Let's just do it quick, right?
Okay, and to which I'll let people know that sounds reasonable. The darkness cast will last 50 minutes, but if you want the boat to be in darkness, for any reason, away from these chaps, whatever,
that's amazing.
I'm on the boat down there.
Yeah, well, if you can move the darkness over to the boat as we get away, that's perfect, right?
That I can't do. The darkness is attached to a spot touch, so that's it. It won't move.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe we could move off. I think we're tending to move off. I think that's the opposite direction. We're going that way anyway. That's the opposite way to the way the ships have come, isn't it?
I haven't seen any ships.
Oh,
Chris? Yeah, I'm a fraction ahead of myself. I really wanted to get that last bit in last night. Maybe I rushed it a little bit. So right about now, Leif arrives back with the boat, regroups with Tarquin, and the first ship is rapidly sailing out of view, or rapidly sailing away, and probably in the next 30 or 40, in the next 4 minutes or so, these three, not that you know this, these three ships will hove into view. So I kind of jumped a bit ahead of myself with timing, but, hey.
So which end of the beach are they?
So the three ships will round this corner, around here.
So is that the cave entrance or the opposite?
No. Cave is down here. The ships are coming from the opposite direction.
Alright, so we're going right, okay. It means we've got to go out. We'll get a shot at. So it's alright, we better bring the people down the end of the beach to us pronto then. Etienne can go. Anybody else want to come? You can do legs and feet then.
I'm happy to help.
Yep. Happy to help.
Alright, so 4 of us go for Karios and Nicholas, and and go now.
Let's load the unconscious people into the boat.
Yeah, and then the rest of us get on the boat, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to ask, are we just ditching our colleagues, allies now?
I guess they can come with us. Obviously, Tanya's still got a bow trained on the cave. Any objections if they come with us? We may as well.
Room on the boat.
Oh, is there not room on the boat?
No.
No.
Alright, no then.
I'll go through each character and describe what they do. We'll start off with Demos. Demos, what are you doing?
Just talking to myself. If I'm not required to help, I will make sure I've got everything. Do I have a shield, a spear?
Lost the spear. The spear's still sitting outside the cave. You can go and get it if you want.
Oh, well,
Demos, do you want to give us a hand, Demos?
yeah, maybe I'll go and be like beautiful strength and help lift some unconscious people.
Okay. Gray, what are you doing?
Gray was happy to go help. He'd just make sure someone helps load Askel into the boat.
Okay.
And then he'd be happy to go help carry other people.
Okay. Great. Tarquin?
I'm going to follow orders. If you want me to come help carry, I will. If you want me to stay and lug people onto the boat, I will. and I'll let people know if there's any value in it. I can do my best to go and introduce myself to these people I don't know and essentially chat with them. Although I'm not sure there's a lot of value in that. Probably better just to load people up.
You did. I don't think you're in the session, Giles. You didn't meet these people, but you did walk past them. You kind of very awkwardly, quite nervously, the two groups kind of file past each other on the beach. So you've seen them before, but you obviously don't know them, and you haven't, like your companions, fought alongside them. But you've at least seen them before.
I'm going to offer to lug bodies, either
Okay.
down the beach or into the boat.
Cool. Mithan?
Mithan will suggest that Tarquin go down the beach with night vision. Correct? Probably useful in the darkness. Mithan will...
Very sensible.
Yeah, sorry, I assume. Mithan has got her bow out and an arrow nocked. She is fully prepared holding a wood wall, and she is still going to stand guard. She's looking up and down the beach.
Okay.
So she's looking for enemies from the cave and looking for enemies from the darkness, but also just wants to monitor that there are allies. Just keeping an eye on them as well.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Paranoid much.
Leif? Yeah, paranoid much. Leif, you've just hauled the boat back in. You've just kind of caught Tarquin's hurried story. What are you doing, please?
I believe he knows where Keros and Tarquin's packs are stowed.
Yes.
I believe they will be at the top of the cliff, so he will offer to go and get them, and he would be keen to get from Tarquin any danger he's seen. So he would have heard that he thought he saw more people at the top of the path. Leif will ask if he saw people anywhere else.
The answer to that is no. The bridge is definitely back in place, so someone's replaced it or repaired it, and I may have seen a human shape right at the top of the path. That's it.
Cool. Can I see the map? Well, Leif will want to fly up right beside the cliff, so he's out of sight from the path end of the beach, if possible.
Okay.
Is there sort of like if there's a fold in the coastline, he'd want to fly up there, and as close to the packs as possible, get the packs and fly back down, put them in the boat.
So what I'm keen to get. Sorry, I should have been a little bit more clear, guys. I'm keen to get a sense of what everybody's doing, and then we'll kind of narrate each person or narrate each section as we go. I'll just show you some images, Pete, and you can tell me kind of what you do in a second. Neathanel's unconscious. Nicholas is unconscious. Tanya.
Tanya's doing exactly what Mithan is doing.
Yep. Okay, cool. Etienne and Severin.
Severin will load people onto the boat.
Yep.
Etienne will go with Tarquin, and if they have to move through darkness, he will suggest they hold hands, which is lovely. If they don't, that's fine. He'll then, with Tarquin's help, because they'll presumably their bodies will have to come out of the darkness, he'll then take either legs or arms of whoever and then rush back.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. All right. So thank you. I've now got a sense of what everybody's doing. A bit of narration from me. So you have this somewhat hushed conversation, occasionally glancing over at your companions over here who are also interested and peering, perhaps listening, trying to listen to what you're saying, and then you start busying yourselves to do those tasks. The two archers base themselves here. Demos starts loading people, Askell, etc., onto the boat. As described, Severin, you're doing much the same. Leif, you're preparing to getting up and flying. You've probably actually already started flying. And Severin, just as you're in the process of picking up an unconscious Neathanel with perhaps Gray's assistance, this man here comes over and backed up with a spearman and this guy with a club. But everybody here is looking a bit worse for wear. I come up, their weapons are out, and they're looking at you, and they say in strangely accented Thebronic, "What are you doing? Where are you going?"
I suggest we're going to get out of here, friends. We're just knackered, and we've got some more people coming up behind us, it looks like. Just reports from the end of the beach, there's some more soldiers at the top of the cliff coming down. Suggest we get the hell out of here.
What soldiers?
I don't know, but we've had enough. We're broken. I mean, you can see what kind of state we're in. I suggest, well, if I were you guys, I'd grab one of those boats too, and let's get out of here.
We wait for our boats. We signal.
Oh, you've got your boat coming in? Okay. Oh, fair enough. Well, listen, it's for what it was worth. It was good fighting with you for a brief time, and I wish you well. All the best on everything. We're just going to get ourselves out of here and heal up and all the best of it. But it was, you look at the guy with the knife in particular, and he said, "Great moves, man. That was just something else. Fantastic knife work." But yeah, we got to go. So all the best. And he'll extend his hand to shake.
This guy here.
And I'll use a charm if I need to.
Give me a roll. Yeah, please give me a roll.
$96.
It's not masked because you actually get to see the effect. Roll again. Nice work.
$43
plus.
65.
Thank you. And realise you're just taking your, just take your time with screens, Graham. No rush. No bother. Just take your time. I mean, look. I mean, the way that this individual sorry, I was pointing to someone on the screen, Graham. We're trying to limit your screen time. The guy that was speaking to you was wow. You're thinking he's some kind of spell user. He was the one that cast, not that Severin saw it, but he's the one that cast the light spell. I mean, he was looking pretty unfriendly when he came up towards you asking you what he was doing, and his companions were kind of fingering their weapons a bit. But Severin, you really, and you definitely got a minus because of his demeanour. But Severin, you just, Severin's not an especially good-looking guy. It's kind of about average looks from memory. But in this case, he kind of flicks his hair back, gives a winning smile, and just, hey, comrades in arms, really appreciate all the help. Dagger guy, you were amazing. You really, really lay it on thick, and you can see the effect of your words. And basically, you just time. Just the way that you come across, your demeanour, just that moment just seems to kind of melt them. And you wouldn't exactly say a smile from the guy that kind of confronted you, but he kind of grudgingly nods, shakes your hand, gives you a bit of a grin, and heads back and starts speaking to his companions. His companions come back as well, start speaking to him. Nicely done, Severin. And you all go about your business. Pete, I'm going to show you quickly. Can you see that?
Yeah, cool.
Yep. So you're kind of huddled, around there-ish.
Yep.
You know that the last time you saw, the packs were over here. Just hope that they're still there. They're over.
I thought the packs were at the top of the cliff when we jumped down.
No. Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope. You put the packs. Unless I am wrong, but my memory, and again, correct me, people, if I am incorrect. But I had thought most people, certainly Keros, and I think Tarquin, had placed their equipment, their packs, the things which encumbered them, over here. So when you first came up against the first traps in this area, you deposited them there because you were thinking you were about to get into combat, and you'd placed them over there, just basically as you were fighting the dogs. Am I right on that, or am I wrong on that? I am happy to be corrected. Please tell me.
Oh, I can't correct you. I can't. But my memory, I think we've checked the recording. I don't know. My memory was that it was before we jumped down onto the beach.
Yeah.
That was my memory too. Yeah. When we had a couple of people up on the firing down, it was just along from there, wasn't there? There was a ledge or something, and then as we were about to
we sort of gathered while Gray and Hanya climbed up onto the rock to shoot back onto the path.
Yeah.
The rest of us gathered on that rock, on the grass.
That is what happened. You gathered at an area. I am almost certain that. Well, let's ask the people concerned, Tarquin and Keros. Where did you put your packs? Can you remember?
I can't recall. I'm sorry.
This is the episode where Mason placed the pack for me. So I think that is what Mason said to me. It was at the point where you all jumped off and used landings to jump together, but I didn't play that episode.
Okay.
Was there a tree? Is there a tree up there? Were they left?
Yes. So I am.
I think there's a tree. I think they were left under a tree.
Correct.
But I could be wrong.
Correct. And certainly your pack, Keros, was. I'm almost... Tarquin's I'm maybe a little bit unclear on, but I'm pretty damn certain that Keros's was left way back over here, basically where Neathanol discovered the trap for the very first time.
Okay.
Sorry, sorry. I was going to say I intend to be in agreement. Sorry.
Yeah. No. It's good. In which case, Leif won't be flying up to get them because the spell won't last that long. It's not that fast a spell, and there's danger there. And also, it'll take a while. So if they were at the top of the cliff, he would go and get them. Otherwise, he will just help with loading the ship, the boat.
Well, I am certain that Keros's pack is where we've just discussed. I am less certain about Tarquin's. It is possible the two packs were left in two separate places, so it's possible that Tarquin's was where Giles believes that Mason, who was playing his character at the time, placed the pack. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy to basically split the difference and say Keros's pack is in a further location. And was there someone else's as well? I thought that Demos had taken off his pack there as well.
I don't recall, but I don't think that Demos was over encumbered.
Okay. I don't. Yeah, because I thought we'd actually sorted out the encumbrance by moving things around. I don't know why anyone took their packs off anyway. Anyway,
Keros was encumbered, definitely. That's why she took it off.
Then Leif would fly up and collect Tarquin's pack. All right. Yeah.
Okay, we'll split the difference. So, a call on terms of what Keros would have kept in her pack and what she would have kept on her person. I think there's probably one item at least she would have kept on her person. Perhaps, yes, and maybe some others, but ultimately up to Keros to determine that. Actually, that's probably relevant. Keros, what would you have kept on your person? It's probably an important and fair question to ask.
Goodness. Dagger.
Which dagger?
The special one.
Okay.
I don't know the name. Sorry.
Yep.
I mean, I'm flying blind here. In that weird object. I know there was a weird object. What was it? It was a weird object.
It was quite, that was quite bulky.
Was it?
Yeah, the dagger certainly is able and easily able to be put on you, but the strange object, is kind of that big and not necessarily massively heavy, but it's a strange shape. It's enough to fit in a pack, but it would be awkward to carry.
And she would have had like her ring, any of the jewelry. She had a necklace. She would have had them on her anyway.
Yep.
Oh goodness, I'm sorry. I'm not a very good note taker. But I do absolutely recall that she was encumbered and the pack went under a tree.
Yep.
Thinking on it, so... Sorry, that's not much help, is it?
The sheet, the XP sheet has got that worn stuff like ring, amulet, and amulet is worn.
Okay,
And
yeah,
dagger.
she would, yeah. And that special dagger.
Okay. All right, and things like food and bedroll and spare clothes and that strange object would have been up in her bag.
I would have, yeah, realistically, yeah, that's what I would say.
Cool. Cool, thank you. Okay, very good. Leif, how much longer does your fly spell last, please?
Well, yeah, that's up to you about how long the boat took to come in.
10 minutes? 15 minutes?
Oh, okay. Oh, well then it's absolutely worn off because it was 1 minute per level. And
Okay.
he's 8 level.
Okay.
So he will recast it.
Okay. Give me a roll, please.
Prep and all that.
Yes.
Oops, a D10. 95.
Love it. Spell goes off. Leif, you're now flying again.
Cool. Thank you.
And you head up to kind of, basically, oh, not kind of, to here. If you recall, so you're all huddling in this area here. Leif, you fly up to, if you can see the cursor on the screen, basically almost directly up to where you were.
Awesome.
Anything you're doing, anything I should be aware of, anything you're, anything that's happening while you're flying up.
Perception rolls, if possible. I don't know if he's in the darkness or not, but he is very aware that there are people along on the path, and so he's wanting to keep out of sight from there as much as possible.
No, he's just out of the pitch dark, and you can give me a couple of perception rolls, please.
I suppose he would be looking before he flies, I guess.
Yep, understood.
44.
44. And what's
51.
Yep. And 51?
Yep. Sorry, 51 is his bonus.
Oh, 51 is his bonus. Yep. And give me one more roll. Two perception rolls for this.
Yep. Rolled a 38.
Okay. Yep. And a 51. Okay. You fly up cautiously. You don't see anything or hear anything particularly in relation to foes, but something you all note is, quite fantastically, the rain eases off. Doesn't stop raining, but it is definitely a lighter rain. So you can hear in the background, just little bit by little bit, it's just more of a drizzle now. So perception and seeing things and all the rest is definitely a bit easier for you. It really was bucketing down before. It's definitely more of a drizzle, a lighter rain, and you can still hear the sounds, obviously, of the pounding of the waves on the shore, which I might just switch down a smidge. Okay, Leif. Yep, you head up and you start investigating it in the pack.
Sorry, I just wanted to add. Sorry, he would be hugging the cliff, keeping to shadows, keeping to bushes. Hopefully he knows where it is and make it as quick as possible.
Okay.
Yep.
Others head down. Now, are you bringing the boat down to them, or are you bringing people along the shore? What's the plan?
Can I just ask? I think we'd be able to judge it for ourselves, but what's faster?
Faster? It's quite awkward down here with quite a few rocks, and to pull it out and pull it in again. None of you are especially good at rowing, and it's a big boat. It can carry up to 14, 15 people. It's quite hard to maneuver. That's why it did take you quite some time to fly it. It was easier for Neathanol to walk along the bottom and drag it, but it took you quite some time to pull. So to answer that question, easier and faster to get people, and bodies and people and bring them back along the stretch.
I think that's what we should do.
Cool. All right. So you're in the process of doing that. Leif, some good news. You come up to where the packs were stowed. I'm not going to... A cruel GM would ask you to make a memory check. I'm going to say you do know where they are. You get them. You find them. Well, it's only one. It's Tarquin's. You get it, and you fly back down. You're unaffected by the darkness. Others that headed down the beach collects Nicholas, kind of supporting Nicholas. Nicholas, you're kind of rudely awakened. I mean, you weren't... Were you asleep? Were you awake? You don't know, but you kind of are rudely awoken. Not that you were, you're huddling in kind of a scrape of a cave with water all around you. It wasn't exactly comfortable. Those that do come down, you're operating in the pitch dark, apart from Tarquin. So Tarquin is guiding you, so you don't actually see these fallen bodies. But you collect up Keros's body. It's now been probably an hour. I'm going to say an hour and a half since Keros was killed. Victory, the cat, has been very, very quiet and has just simply been resting by Keros's side, or actually on Keros, and trots along beside you. So taking Keros, Nicholas, and Victory, you head back down and rejoin your companions. Yes, Tarquin.
Correct. So just while we're down there, obviously I'm leading everyone down in through the darkness to collect everyone.
Yep.
I just want to have a really good hard look up the path where I saw thought I saw movement. I want to make sure whether there's people there, no one there. I want to see what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. Give me a roll.
$84. Oh, I put it in the wrong channel, sorry.
Yep. Could you give me another roll?
$11.
Okay. And what's your perception, please?
90, I think.
Yep. I think it is too. Nothing, Tarquin. You peer into the gloom above you. As mentioned, it's a little bit easier to see and hear now because the rain is now coming down less hard. It's just more of a drizzle. Peering up there, yeah, that bridge is definitely still intact. You can see with the dark vision that you've got, but you can't see any movement up there. You don't hear any movements. Nothing, as far as you're concerned.
Okay, so I can be reasonably confident that there is no one who'd be half or further down this path by now. If someone had been where I'd seen them, by the time it takes me to get back to the crew and get back here, they'd be well on their way down the path if they were coming, right?
Assuming you could see them, yes.
Right, yeah. That is a good point. So I will tell people I can see nothing up the path and skedaddle with the crew to lead them back to the boat.
Okay. So by the time everybody is back, by the time packs have got, etc., these three ships have hoved into view. They are still some way off. They've rounded, as I say, this kind of outcrop, but they're sailing rapidly. There's not a lot of wind here, but you are guessing that these vessels, and perhaps the previous one that very, very promptly departed, are powered by cushion. Cushion is a relatively new innovation in this world. It's a rock that, when immersed in water, produces a gas. And in the last several hundred years, people have invented an engine, I guess, of a type that can go on the back of a vessel that can help use gas to propel rapidly expel the gas from this rock to allow a vessel, to travel faster at sea. These vessels also have oars. You can't see them on that image, but they have oars, and there is also a little bit of wind. So they are making reasonable speed in your direction. And pretty much exactly when Tarquin, etc., bring Jadar and the others back, and Leif, you're down from the top of the cliff. You've successfully found the packs. By the way, this group of people have moved slightly further away from you. They've headed down here a little bit further, keeping an eye on you. They like you, are keeping a very, very close eye on what's happening down here, with some bows out in that direction, but they are also keeping an eye on you. And there's a lot of discussion going on with these people. They're kind of deep in huddle. So just as everybody reconverges, Leif with the packs, everybody else with the bodies, you get everybody on board. So you're on board this rowing boat. Can I fit all your counters in? I'm not sure if I can. I'm not sure if I want to try. Nope, I'm going to sink the boat. The ships have rounded the cape at this stage, and two of them have stayed further back. One of them is in the process of moving closer in towards the bay. It's still some way off. It would still be, say, half a mile away. Well, no, let's say quarter of a mile away. And all of a sudden, from the deck of that lead ship, there is this beam of light, quite wide, green in colour, and it just rockets up from by the sail of the ship, somewhere by the mast of the ship, just straight up into the sky, and it is huge. You lose sight of how tall this thing is. It just absolutely, it's massive, massive, massive in length, and it flashes 3 times in the space of a couple of minutes, maybe left on for 30 seconds each time, and then stops. And as you're clambering into the boats and kind of organising oars and all the rest of it, you notice that there are boats coming down off the side of that ship as well.
Chris?
Around this time, your companions from further down the beach, suddenly there is another beam of light that comes up from them. Again, green in colour. And again, it's flashed 3 times, and then it goes off. You're now all in the boats. You now all have the oars. What do you do?
I was going to say, Chris, while they were down the beach, I was just going to ask our compatriots before they wandered off if the boats were connected to them.
They said they didn't know.
Okay.
Yep. Until that flash of light happened, and then they responded.
And do we know if that flash of light is connected to us? I can't remember. Does anyone remember?
I don't think it's in the instructions. I think it was just simply we would signal them at the end. I don't know if we had further.
Yeah. Did we have a colour?
We had. Was it green or red?
That might be quite key.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
I thought it was red. That could be wrong.
Red. Yeah, I did read it a while ago.
I don't remember.
Where are we? Blast.
Are we working on the assumption that this is a bit like lightsabers and you kind of put a bit of a giveaway in terms of...
Signal on one of your depth. Make its colour red. You're absolutely right, Alex. Yep.
Well done. Yeah. So.
I wanted pink, and it was red. So.
Yeah. Our ships will be regularly scanning the sky with eyeglasses and other means, and will be looking for your sign. Once spotted, our ships will arrive to collect you and the shipment. the rod is to be returned to us.
So, this has happened. Firstly, the beam of light from the ship, and then the beam of light from these people here. And there are definitely some smaller boats being lowered down on this closer ship, the one that signals green. You are now all in this longboat. What do you do, please?
Let's bugger off, shall we? Yeah, I mean, those who can grab an oar, I guess.
Nathan wants to tune our signal rod. Seems like it might be important to be able to use that signal rod.
Yes.
Because if our ship, I think we should get out, be ready to run away in our boat. But if we could perhaps watch what happens to the Green Party, and if they get taken on board those ships, then that means that's the ships come to collect them, I guess.
Yeah. And I suppose we got to signal red when we're at a distance where we can still get away, right? See what happens.
I think so.
Who's got this oar skill?
Leif has, but he's also got a higher. He's got 51 for attunement.
But he would be steering then, would he? And the rest of us you can just direct us, I suppose.
Sure, he's got 27 for rowing, but I think we do need someone to attune as soon as possible.
What about Jada? She's not presumably doing much. What's her attunement?
True, perfect.
Jada, if you recall, attempted to attune it, and she managed to blast the thing into her face, and she will never be able to attune herself to this item.
Alright, not Jada then.
Okay. I think we still want to stay within Kui, so we still want to see what's happening to the Green Party, so let's not get too far away. So Leif doesn't need to row just yet, or help just yet. I reckon he's in the boat and attunes.
I'm just a bit... Should we just push off, though, and do some rowing? Because I'm just a bit...
Absolutely.
We don't want to be capped. Right? Yeah.
Yep.
If that's all right, then, Chris, we'll push off, and those that can row. I guess we've quite a few strong people.
Yep, I'd just like to check what are other people doing, thinking, saying.
Yeah, we're going to act as one, so if row some distance, wait and see and attune is the plan, works for Tarquin.
Demos is just happy to be involved, I think. To be honest.
Yep. Gray loves being involved. He loves being part of the team.
Yeah, happy to be conscious.
Nathan would want would go along with that. She'd also want to do, what's it called? Diagnostics. She's not great, but she wants to do diagnostics on those who are unconscious.
Okay. Alright. So,
Actually, how many rowers are there?
What was the question, sorry?
How many rowers are there? Do you want everyone on an oar, or have we got some spare hands?
What is it? How many? Yeah, good question. How many oars, and is it one person per oar?
Yeah. So do we have? Is it everybody who's conscious? Does everyone have an oar?
There are a total of 6 oars in the boat, 3 either side.
Right.
Okay.
Now I know absolutely nothing as a human being about rowing. I don't know how. Here we go.
I assume it's not rollocked. I assume it's stick them over the side and pull, right?
No, it's rollocked. So you've actually got little
Oarlocks.
Yeah, oarlocks, rollicks. Yeah, here we go. This skill provides a bonus for the propulsion of watercraft through the use of paddles, oars, or poles. Amazing. It combines the skill required to control and guide the craft with the coordination to work with others in rhythm when necessary, in addition to marshalling and pacing internal resources. Rowing vehicles are, in general, not particularly manoeuvrable, but they are more manoeuvrable than a sailing vehicle. It's possible to make a relatively tight turns, etc. The difficulty of a rowing maneuver is dependent on two factors: the speed at which the vehicle and how sharp the maneuver is. Also, smaller vehicles like rowing boats are more maneuverable than longships. The size of the vehicle may blah 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 blah. Partial or near success blah 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 blah. Accelerating one pace category from a walk to a jog is a routine. Easy, light. A light maneuver is maintaining the speed of a jog and making a 45-degree turn. A medium maneuver is maintaining the speed of a run, so in other words, moving quite fast and making a 90-degree turn. Yeah, so I've barely rowed anything myself. I'm imagining it would be, this is a reasonably, there's not a huge set of waves crashing in here. As mentioned, it's not particularly rough, but it's probably not going to be easy either. So just describe to me who is rowing, who has a skill at rowing, and what your general plan is for moving the boat, please. I think generally working here, I think a complete novice/idiot like myself could probably get in a boat and make it move. I just don't know how effectively I could make it move. Does anybody actually know anything about rowing?
Darling, I'd like to clarify, if I could just jump in. You did row us around Lake Bled with all that wine in that rowboat in Slovenia.
I did.
Do you remember? Yes, and you rowed us over to the monastery, and I think we were quite weighed down with alcohol in that little rowboat. So give yourself some credit.
Actually, I think you did a better job rowing, to be honest.
I did do. I mean, I wasn't going to bring it up, but because you're the GM. But yes, quite right. Yeah.
So what if Leif? If Leif steers the boat, and then calls the pace, and the rest of us just listen to what Leif tells us to do. So, calls out the beat, and we put our oars in when Leif tells us to.
And do a sort of an aggregate roll on everyone's ability plus Leif's rowing bonus because he's directing it, and that's good.
Yeah, and then you can then use your presumably you're on the tiller. If it hasn't got a tiller, you use an oar at the back to steer it.
Yeah.
The Leif would be the cox.
No, the Leif would be steering. Oh, I suppose so. Yeah, I suppose does the cox steer? I suppose it does. Yeah.
Okay.
So as long as we'll pair it off the strength wise, so
yes,
we'll kind of, I won't have all the strongest people on one side because that will be annoying.
Don't you want to go in circles? Okay, so Leif at the back, yep. And then who's going where, and someone's tuning or not a tuning or something as well, I think I picked up. So tell me.
Well, we'll perhaps give time for that. So we've got Etienne and Severin, Tanya and Gray, and Demos. Who's left?
Yeah, I'll row.
Cool.
So strength wise, Severin is 102, Etienne's 98. Tanya, meanwhile, would be is 90. No shirk, but not strong.
Yep. So it's a combination of constitution and strength is the stat. So we're not going to. I don't think we're going to do this to death, but have a look at adding your constitution and your strength bonuses together, minus 25, and that's your bonus for rowing.
Divided by 2, you mean?
Divided by 2, sorry, yes.
$33 for Demos.
Tarquin, 79.
79.
So what was the minus?
So take your strength bonus.
Yeah.
Plus your
agility. Not the big number.
Not the big number, just the bonus. The strength.
All right.
The strength bonus. Yeah. The constitution bonus, so not the main stat.
Yeah. Divide by 2.
Divide by 2, and then add that number to negative 25, and that is your skill with rowing.
All right. So Severin's 18 plus 18.
So can everybody please just so I know Who is not rowing is probably a better question.
Nathan.
Nathan is not rowing. Is Jada rowing, do we think? Don't forget, there's only 6 oars.
No. I'd
Okay.
say not Jada.
So who are the 6 that are rowing, please?
So Etienne and Severin.
Etienne, Severin, yep.
Tanya and Gray.
Tanya, Gray, yep.
Demos and Tarquin.
Demos, Tarquin. Lovely, thank you. Can I ask everybody, please? We're not going to do this to death, but can you please get that number that you had? So again, just to repeat, that's your strength bonus plus your constitution bonus, not the stat, the bonus. Divide by 2, and then add that number, whatever that number is, to -25, because that -25 means you don't have a skill in rowing, unless you do have a skill in rowing. And then can everybody please roll, let's say three times, and each person give me the total result that they get. So roll the dice, add on that number that you get for your rowing skill without being skilled in it, and then tell me what they are. So if everybody can do that right now, and I'll go through each one of those 6 characters, and let's see roughly how well the boat moves. Take you a minute or so to do.
Do we add Leif's rowing skill to that? Because he's directing?
He's not actually rowing. No, he's not actually rowing.
But didn't the skill say it's also a bonus to timing and coordination of a team? Oh, otherwise Leif would jump in and row. Yeah, if that makes sense.
So in reality, Chris, the most important person in a boat is your helmsman, whoever's sitting at the front, because they're the one who goes strike.
Yeah, true.
Strike.
True. Okay.
Strike.
So
you're actually the most important.
Cool. Okay. So Pete, yes, indeed. Cool. And you are steering. So yes, 3 rolls for Leif as well, please. And good point.
I just assumed that he wouldn't roll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's rolling. Cool. So in a second, I'm going to go around each person. We're going to start with Etienne. What were your 3 results, please?
Oh, are these open-ended?
Yes.
Cool.
Blimey.
Etienne, are you ready?
Not yet.
Okay. Is anybody ready? Probably not yet.
Yes, I am. 3D100s.
Yes, please.
So my total roll was 111.
Oh no, I want 3 separate rolls. Three results.
Okay, so I can give you 3 results as well.
Yep.
45.
45. Thank you. Yep.
52.
52. Yep.
And 14.
14. Not great. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Perfect. And that was with your skill added on to the roll, correct?
So no skill, but
your strength, your constitution minus 25, and then a dice roll.
No, that was just my dice roll. My strength.
Okay.
You just asked for 3 dice rolls, correct?
Yeah, I asked for 3 dice rolls, but modified by your strength and constitution divided by 2, -25.
So plus 8.
Plus 8 to all of those. Okay. Cool. Okay. 3. I know this sounds kind of fiddly, but actually it might be quite important to see how fast you either move or don't move. Plus 8, cool. So in total, Demos, you got 53, 60, and 22. Cool, thank you. Has anybody else finished?
Yep, I've got Leif's.
Leif's, go for it.
So I have done the 3 rolls and added his rolling bonus to each of them.
Great.
So the results are 70.
70, yep.
122.
1, 2, 2, yep.
And 208.
Goodness me, 208.
That was an open-ended.
Yep, nice, cool. Thank you. Anybody else who's finished?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. I can go. So Gray's with his bonus added. The first one is 23.
23, yep.
And then 91.
Wow, yep.
And then 42.
2. Thank you. Next.
Severin got 110.
Wow.
And then he rolled over 95s, and he got 167 on his second.
Wow.
And then 83 on his third.
Oh, thank you.
Etienne, meanwhile, got 65 on the first.
6.
7.
Just 65. Yep.
7 on the second.
Oh, okay. Yep.
52 on the third.
Yep.
And Tenya got 32, 31, and 44.
32, 31, and 34.
44.
44. Thank you. And then lastly, Tarquin.
So the totals, and he has the joy of minusing 16 off each, are 49, 23, and 61. I've already done the minuses, Chris.
Yeah, got it. Thank you. Cool. All right, great. So that gives me a good handle. Okay. So you set off from the shore. Roughly, where are you aiming to go? How far are you aiming to get, and what speed are you wanting to go?
Where are the 3 boats all now on the left-hand side of the bay?
So, looking here.
3 ships.
Looking here. If that's the end down where Jadar, etc. were.
Huh?
It's where the cave is. This is where you have moored and loaded up the boats, loaded up your boats. 2 ships further in the distance, out about here, one here. Not actually representative, they are further away than this, but just to give you a sense. And then another one is closer in, again, closer in, a little bit further in front. Not representative on that map, but just roughly where they are. In distance out from here, they would be maybe the closest would be maybe quarter of a mile, maybe a little bit less than that. These ones are a little bit further away.
Cool. I think we go right. Agreed? Sorry, Chris, I interrupt you, sorry.
No, that's it for me. You just tell me where you want to go.
Sorry. Yeah, I think we go to the right, so we go to away from them. I don't think we want to. We still want to keep them. It would be nice to be able to keep the party on the shore in sight, and I don't think we need to go to a huge speed. We want to go at a speed which is safe for us, basically. If the rowing is going well, we could go faster, but if the rowing's not going well, we stick to a safe pace. That's what I think. And we don't want to. We get to a point where we're going to get out of sight of the beach, and then perhaps hold there would be my thinking.
So this might be a more useful image.
Yeah.
If the boats are out, say kind of here-ish, 2 are out here and 1's out here, your plan is to go where?
Yep, that direction. Yep.
But
is it hard to go back amongst those rocks?
Yes, well, for inexperienced rowers such as yourselves, yes. Coming out in the open water is much easier because you don't have to negotiate the rocks. Even though it's not rough, you have inexperienced rowers with you, and I'm going to take those results as read. And if you go via the rocks, that could, your results.
No, we want to be safe. The furthest we can, the best we can exit the bay and be furthest from the ships is to take that path on the left of the screen, isn't it?
Chris, how far out is the darkness come?
Isn't Leif's rolls of steering, ours of speed, aren't they? Is that how it's working?
No, it's in theory, but not in practice. You're inexperienced, you don't know how to row. Leif's doing his best to keep you on track, but you're mucking up the times, you're not rowing in sync. Leif's efforts to keep it straight aren't necessarily kept straight by inexperienced people with the oars. So, tell me where you're going, please.
So was that assumption correct? That line you're putting the pointer on now is the furthest we can be from the ships, but still exit this bay.
Well, when you say exit the bay, are you getting out of view of the people that you...
No, we don't want to get out of view. No, we're not to get out of view of them quite yet.
Okay. So you're coming out to, what, about here? And the
Yep.
ships are kind of around here-ish.
How does everyone else feel? I think that perhaps could be the plan.
Yep, I think that's good.
All right. Okay.
Do it.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
so with that, and with you deliberately avoiding the rocks, yeah, you make reasonable progress. Had you decided to tangle with the rocks, that could have been different. But you make pretty steady progress, and you bring the boat out to about here. At the same time as you see that first boat, the one that's signalled green, launch 4 boats. 2 of them head directly in towards where the light came from. So the signal light came from here on screen where I'm using the cursor, and these 2 boats make a beeline for those people that's signalled. The other 2 boats are start rowing in your direction. And they're making good time. These people know what they're doing behind oars. What do you do?
Sorry, I did put in the chat that also Mithan would be attempting to attune the power rod whilst everyone was rowing.
Cool. Yeah, sure. Cool. So, yes, that's another roll we can do. All right. So coming on that. Just coming. Just coming. Where is it? There we go. So, she has spent less than 1 hour attuning, because you wouldn't have had it to attune, so that's negative 20. You get plus 0 for 1 to 4 hours attuning, or plus 5 for more than 4 hours to attune. What realm is Mithan? Channeling. That's negative 30, unfortunately.
Whoops.
So this roll,
well,
because it's... you do, however, know what the spell and ability is. You can't cast the spell internally. So, all told, the negative 20 for spending less than an hour doing it cancels out the knowing what the spell is, because you do know what the spell does. You do have negative 30 because the realm is different from your realm, and also the level of the spell is minused off your roll. Mithan?
Right.
Good luck with this roll. No pressure.
We'll see. Ah, damn, a 10.
10.
I'm hoping it's going to fail and it goes off in her face, because we'll at least get a signal.
A 10, what's your bonus for attunement?
18.
18 minus 30 minus the level of the spell. Yeah, Mithan, you try really, really hard to get your mind wrapped around this, but you have just got a mental block on this item. Yeah. You just don't think you can get your head around it. There is a 50% chance, however, that the spell will be activated. 50 and below, and it's activated.
Ah, man! Why couldn't have had that as attunement roll? 91. Someone else want to roll?
No, you all out of questions on this one.
Cool.
Who else can attune?
Leif will have a go if he possibly can.
Yep.
Yep.
Do you stop rowing then?
I guess if he can take a break from it, he's directing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to those modifiers. Leif, so you get -20 for less than 1 hour, however you know what it is, so that cancels each other out. What realm are you?
He's essence.
Right, so that makes a big difference. You don't get -30, but you do get the negative on the spell of the level. Give me a roll, please.
Right.
Hope for a good one. No pressure.
Need that 91 again. How about a 24?
Okay. What's his bonus?
51.
Okay. Better than Mithan's. Definitely better than Jadar's. Leif, you've got no further ideas how to use this, and realistically, you're not going to get another chance to do this until you gain a bit more experience, I'm afraid.
Cool. Can he? Cool, thank you. Can I just take another action here?
Mm-hmm.
He would confer with the people as we're rowing or whatever, and say he can do a simple immobile image seen up to 10-foot radius. It creates a mobile set of sounds or an image up to 100 feet away. He can always do an illusion of a red beam of light if we feel that would be. I mean, it's not the same thing.
Well, just copy what they did on with the green one, right? That'd be great.
Yeah, except it's not very big. But how does the group feel about that?
Very good.
Okay, so if we can prepare,
if we cast the beam, doesn't it mean we've got the goods?
It just means signal for pickup, I believe. Yeah, I agree. That was the idea. We should have had the goods by now, but
well,
the other group did it, so we're okay. Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah, I don't know. Will we have a go with this red spell with Leif's illusion?
Definitely. Is there anyone else who can also attune? Or is that it now?
Those that don't have attunement, you get, just as a quick heads up, if you don't have an attunement spell, those that have a read runes skill has, I believe, some assistance, which is, let me just tell you what it is. A quarter of runes. So if you have read runes, you have a quarter of that which can apply to attunement.
What difference does it make if your realm is...
Gray does have attunement, but he's got plus 27.
Give it a go.
Oh, Gray, go.
Yeah. Alright, he's feeling lucky.
What's, again, Gray, your essence, so you don't get -30?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a roll.
Yay!
74? 74?
74 plus 27.
That's 27.
Okay. Oh shit, these were masked. Damn it. No. That's not... really sorry, guys. These were meant to be masked. Of course they're masked because you've got no idea what this is. I have to replay those rolls because this could have a material impact on the game. I'm really sorry. They're masked. Of course they're masked, and I just completely forgot what I was doing. So the GM's mistake. Can we go back, please? We can very fortunately see in the chat. Can we go back to the first roll, which was Leif's?
Mithan.
Mithan. What was Mithan's first roll to attune?
Tuning rod while rowing. Oh, she rolled a 10.
10. She did. And of course it was, just
Yeah.
brain phased by me. Okay. What's her skill?
Attunement is plus 18.
Minus 30, minus 18. So definitely a better result for Mithan. Not great, but better. Yeah, Mithan, you have no further idea how to use it. After you've gone up a level, you can try again.
Okay.
But you can at least try it again. Next one to try was Leif, correct?
Yep, he rolled a 24.
24. Okay. And... Nice. Can you roll again, please, Leif?
Oh, I like the sound of that. Plus 30, 35 is the next roll.
Oh, 35 is masked again. Sorry, guys, sometimes GM misses stuff, and I missed it. That was meant to be a masked.
We could have thought to ask as well, actually.
Yep, masked. It should have been masked. Of course it's masked, because you don't know the result. And what's his skill, please?
51.
Yep, that 98 would do it. Leif, very happy to say... Where is it? Leif! You cracked it. Sitting there in a boat, at the back of the boat, while these two other boats are closing in on you. Pressure situation. Drizzle's coming down. Your frankly incompetent oars mates are straining. Demos is pulling this way. Severin's kind of, you know what he's doing. He's got his oar up in the air. Really, these guys, they're not great.
What do you mean?
Sitting there in the back of the boat, and you just have this epiphany. That's it. That's how you use it. You can now use the item.
He'll do so, please. Doing the same signal as the other one, the 3 blinks or whatever.
Okay.
Oh, well, actually, he'll inform the rest. He'll say, I got it. Shall I signal? He wants to, he's consultative.
Let's do it, right?
Yep. So I believe he'll need a couple of rounds prep.
Yep. Yes, you probably don't want to fail this roll.
Yeah.
So just while this is happening, by the way, you've stopped about here. You're kind of bobbing on the water. These two other boats have come up. If you can see my cursor on screen, they've come up. They're probably about, call it 80, maybe 90, not quite 100 foot away. Out in the darkness. Don't forget the image on screen is of daylight, but of course it's well and truly night now. It is easier to see, as mentioned. It's drizzle rather than pouring rain. And there is a lot of metal on this boat, and there's a lot of metal being pointed in your direction. There are crossbows, and people, if not pointed directly at you, there are people with, from what you can make out, sharp pointy things that are just keeping a weather eye on you, and they're just sitting there kind of bobbing. If you can see the GM kind of doing his wee motion on screen, kind of bobbing upside on the boat, and they're just kind of holding to kind of a few people on the oars, bigger boats than yours, and they'll probably have maybe 15 or so people in each one. What you do notice, any actions, by the way. They haven't done anything, they haven't said anything yet. They're, as I say, about 100 foot away from you guys. The other two boats, by the way, are still making a beeline for your former companions on the shore.
Are we in rounds, Chris?
Sorry, say again, Charles?
Are we in rounds?
Not yet, no.
I'm going to cast Water Vision.
You're going to cast?
Water Vision.
Water Vision? Sure. Yeah, give me a roll.
8. That'll do.
What was
Long
the roll?
round.
What was the roll?
8.
8?
8.
With enough prep, the spell went off. What happens?
Yeah, literally nothing. But what it means is that when he's up in the water, he can see for 50 minutes as if it wasn't in water.
Nice. Okay.
So he's ready to end up in the drink if he needs to.
Cool. Nice. Very, very handy. Cool. Any other actions from anybody else?
Etienne would like to prepare, and he'll cast if and when they get a bit closer. But he'd also like to remind the hero party it might be a good idea if they pulled up their hoods over their heads. But the Twilight party not to, just in case the people with all that are nearest to us happen to be Robdenic.
That's very good thinking.
Tarquin obviously doesn't need to, but those. I mean, obviously Neathnal's face down, but the others anyway. Obviously not Carrios, so just the other.
Yep.
Three.
Lake and Mythan Woods.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and Etienne would as well.
Etienne's preparing. Anything from Grey or Demos?
Gray's just concentrating on his rowing.
Okay.
Yep.
You've probably actually paused at this stage while you're just kind of floating as the others are. But you've done a great job on rowing, by the way. By the way, all of those rolls were mediums. So mediums? No, lights. So do mark down each three light maneuvers. They were all successful. Some more so than others, but they actually all helped. So, yay, helping. Everybody did actually help. Literally make the boat go faster. So
how far away is the boat?
Sorry?
How far away is this other boat?
Well, there are two boats, as mentioned. These two other long boats, as mentioned, around between 80 to 100 foot, depending on the waves.
Does it look like one person is in command of them?
Hard to tell at this distance. Yep. You really can't see.
All I need to hear.
Would a perception roll to the boat heading towards the Green Party be successful? Mythan is wanting to see if they're also heavily armed.
Yeah, please, give me a roll.
Yep. It's 44, masked, I believe.
44, yes. 44, what's her perception?
Plus 83.
Wow. So yeah, Mythan, you see, and this is, by the way, happening while Leif is firstly attuning. He's kind of just in the final throes of attuning and then preparing. You see the two boats here. Less people on those boats, by the way, but also heavily armed. A short conversation has been had with your former companions on the beach, and your former companions on the beach are now being ushered into the boats. And those boats are rowing back in your direction. And right about...
will say that if she's got a chance, she'll sort of report that to the group.
Cool. And right about now, Leif, with 4 rounds preparation, you can cast.
76.
I was going to say, a little bit of pressure there. A little bit of pressure. So this beam, you've already seen it now several times. The actual description is as follows.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Does he get the experience of casting that level of spell?
Yes.
And that's, so can I ask what level?
18.
Woohoo!
19.
19.
Yep. Where is your magician when you need her? Beacon. 10 miles. Duration 1 minute per level. Caster's palm, or in this case it's actually from the rod that you were given, which looks like this, if you recall. Pointing it up in the air. A ray of light, any colour, in this case, I'm assuming you choose red, springs up from the caster's palm. In this case, it's from the end of this rod, and can be up to 10 miles long. Quite wide, reasonably wide, very easy to be seen, and this thing just blasts red up into the air. What do you do, Leif?
He would want to follow the same pattern as the other one.
Okay.
And then assume if they stopped it afterwards, so he'd stop it as well.
Okay, so 3 pulses. Red.
Yep.
Red. Red. Okay.
Yep.
And then you stop. Cool. Any other actions from anybody else? Etienne, you've now prepared, by the way.
Severin's putting his mask of enhancement on.
Okay.
And Etienne will hold his spell.
Okay. Okay. Any other actions that I should be aware of?
Did we get a response?
Gray would be making sure that Wingy was nice and close and not too scared by the glowy beam.
Okay.
Can we proceed with the boat as it gets closer? Just wanted to make sure there's no Roldanic people on there. If we can identify them.
Sorry, what boat getting closer?
Well, the boats that are close. Perception on those, just to see if there's any insignia or anything we can,
Sure. Yeah. I mean, they're not getting closer. They have they've stayed a distance, kind of bobbing like you are on the ocean, about 100 foot away. So they've stopped rowing as you've stopped rowing. But yes, you can absolutely make a roll. Sure. Give me a perception, please, Severin.
$22.
22. Mast, of course. What's your bonus?
Plus 72.
Okay. Yeah.
And 10 would be the same.
Yeah. No, you can't see anything, Severin. Not at this distance. Not with this amount of night. Even with the drizzle, no, you can't see it. Tanya, give me a roll.
38. Obviously, Elven Eyes and 81.
Okay. Tanya, you definitely spot there is a lot of metal. So crossbows in the main, but also spears, cutlasses, a lot of helmets, shields. These people are definitely heavily armed. And you do catch a glimpse of someone, Tanya, that looks like this. The boat too.
Yes.
Okay, that's the guy we've seen before, right? In the forest?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No. There was a mage who wandered over to the other side of the wall and got very close to us, had a good look at us, and then walked off.
Oh, no, he was Roldanic. He was in a Crusader's uniform.
Alright, okay. Well, Tanya will describe that person to the rest of the party in detail.
Okay. Any other actions from others in the boat?
Okay with the plan, basically.
Demos will be admiring the oar, feeling how nice it feels in his hands and whether that would be, a good weapon.
Okay.
He might gaze at it lovingly. He would also like to perceive, if possible, please.
Give me a roll.
Uh, 15 plus 50 for perception.
Sure thing. And again, of course, it is mass. So for our viewers and listeners that may not understand what I mean by mast, these rolls may be are a completely different result. So I've got a chart on my side of the screen that marry up to a 100 result, and so it's a way of keeping the dice rolls hidden. Basically, it's probably the easiest way to describe it. What was the result again, please, Keros?
I rolled a 15, and there's a plus 50 to perception. General perception.
Cool. No, nothing that you particularly spot, Demos.
Chris, is there any point in Tarquin doing a perception roll? He wants to look at these boats to try and identify a leader.
Okay, yeah, give me a roll.
$73.
Cool. And that is mast. Okay.
It shouldn't be mastered. Chrissy knows exactly what he wants to do.
Yes, but he doesn't know if he sees it or not.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Yep. So he doesn't. So yeah, it is mast.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's mast. Yeah, I mean, hard to tell for sure, Tarquin. But you think this guy here seems to be moving around a bit. He's moved twice, at least on one of the boats, the boat closest to you, and he seems to be speaking to the men quite a bit. You can see a bit better, Tarquin, because you have half-elven vision. It's still dark, but yeah, somewhat better. Any other action? Yep.
In which case, what he wants to do, I'm just trying to find it, is I want him to be as prepared as possible. Oh, is it gone? Maybe it's vanished. No, here we go. I want him to be as prepared as possible to cast a spell if he needs to. So in any sign that he looks like this dude is going to start to give directions, or they get more aggressive than simply being nasty, row towards us, crossbows bolted. As soon as they look actively aggressive, he wants to be as prepared as he can be to cast the spell.
Got it.
And I will tell the people in our boat, I've spotted the dude, I think this could be the leader. If they get aggressive, shall I cast confusion on him? If I do, that will prevent him from making decisions or initiating action.
Yeah, I mean, if they're aggressive, yeah, sure. But I guess we're assuming that.
I'm hoping they're friendly. Yep.
Yeah, we're hoping anyway. Yeah. But Etienne says that he's prepared a spell, which is a little bit more gentle if it goes a bit better in terms of voice of friendship.
Beautiful.
So just to try and dispel any initial encounter.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. So those preparations are all done. Wingy is now tucked up safe. Etienne's been admiring his girthy oar. People have made spell preparations and discussed spell preparations. And Leif, most importantly, critically, you've just cast that beacon, massive beacon of red light up from the boat into the sky above you 3 times. And there's a pause, maybe not long, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and suddenly from the second of the 3 boats, the 2 that are a bit further back, away, a red beacon just blasts its way up into the sky. Once, twice, 3 times. And when that happens, the 2 boats that have been kind of bobbing on the water in front of you shift to their oars and start rowing back to the boat that they had come from. Any actions?
I was lucky.
No, perception roll of the red beacon boat, looking for preparations of them lowering a boat.
Yep.
From within, please.
I'm not going to ask for a perception. You see it.
Oh.
It takes another, say, 10 or so, well, 5 or so minutes. But yes, indeed, 3 boats are lowered, and they come directly towards you. The 3 boats, 2 of them are pretty full with people. with a lot of people that are heavily armed and armoured. One of the boats is less so, and they come a lot closer towards you. So the previous ones that were from this ship stayed about 80 foot away. These ones come up within about 15 to 20 foot. They're really close to you. And obviously, you're on the water, so you're bobbing and you're moving. But you all get, without perception rolls required, you all get a very good look at them. There are a lot of people, kind of what you'd term men-at-arms. What they're not wearing, because, surprise, surprise, they're on the water, is armour. So, generally being in armour, and if you fall in the water, is probably not such a great idea. So any armour that you see here, they're not wearing, other than perhaps helmets. But these are the kind of people that you're seeing. Pretty hardy, lots of spiky weapons, more bows in this case rather than crossbows, although there are quite a few crossbows, and then quite a few kind of, for want of a better term, sailor types on the vessel. There's also this man here who's just sitting quietly in the slightly emptier boat, and as the slightly emptier boat comes closer, quite a few bowmen in it, and this figure, this man, it's like an elf, pointed ears, rapier at his side, gets to his feet in the bobbing vessel and just calls across the 20 or so foot of distance. Identify yourselves.
So I think Etienne, Severin could reply with charm, but how have we identified ourselves prior to this?
The Mon men knew our true names, I believe.
Not a true name, they
knew us by name, I believe. Is that right, Chris?
Yes.
So we don't really. I'm just okay. Well, we'll just. All right. Well, Severin will use his name. It says Severin Kaidegart and Party.
Show us the device.
Leif will hold up the rod.
Good. Come with us.
He's very friendly in this world, aren't he? Okay.
What sort of tense situation?
and they start rowing back towards their ship. Do you follow suit, or do you do something else?
I reckon we follow, right?
We'll row exactly like they do.
And by the way, Severin rowed really well. I'll have you all that criticism. Honestly.
Yeah.
And under 67, what do you want?
All right. So, you head on to, and it does take you quite a while to get out there, but you head on to the second of these ships. It does at least do you the favour of moving in a little bit closer, you'll be pleased to see. While you are there, you're nearly on board, and you're actually quite close to this first vessel, and you notice another boat. The ships aren't too far apart now, the first two ships anyway, about that distance that you can see on screen. And as you're getting closer to the vessel that fired the red light up into the sky, about halfway in the water, there's a much smaller boat, a dinghy, very small boat, and it just has several, call them sailor types, on them. Quite frantically rowing with a third person. And the third person looks like this. And as he passes you in the boat, he just waves. Quite a cheery fellow, he just waves at you. And he then heads off and boards. He clambers up the side of this boat, the first boat with the green light, and goes on board.
Do we recognise him?
Do you?
Well, I don't know. Honestly, it's been months, isn't it, on this island?
It's been about 6 days.
No, but I mean in real time. I mean in our time. I can't. It's such a long time ago. Is he in the village? I mean, would our characters recognise this person?
No. You've never seen him before, any of you.
Right.
Santa.
Sorry?
Santa.
And you reach the other vessel, the vessel with the red light, and you're helped up on board's decks by several sailor-type people. The guy that's first called out to you. No one's particularly friendly, but they're not unfriendly. No one mishandles you. No one seems slightly interested in checking any of your possessions or asking you for any weapons. You come up on board the ship, so you clamber up the rope ladders. Keros's body is taken up quite reverently. They treat her body with respect. Ditto with the two unconscious members of your party, Tanya and Askell. They treat the injured and they're careful with you, Nicholas. They can see you're injured. Kindness is not the word. It's not like they're smiling, but they offer helping hands. They can see that people are injured and bloodied and take you up on deck. This man turns to you once you're all assembled and says, you must be tired, you must be hungry and thirsty. Come with me and I shall feed you and give you something to drink. And unless anybody does anything different, he takes you inside what would presumably be the master cabin. You're not sure. Very plain. There's not lots. Quite very, very orderly ships. That's the thing that all of you notice. Very clean, very tidy, quite old, but in very good condition. Well looked after, well maintained.
Several.
Yep.
Several ask if he wishes to be updated on the situation.
No.
Right.
Takes you into the cabin. There's very little in it. There's kind of a large state table. There's food laid out on the table. Nothing particularly lavish, but considering most of you have been, well, all of you have been living off kind of hard rations and stuff, it seems quite a luxury. There's some good spicy kind of curry stew. There's some fresh fruit, which is something you've all been missing. There's some wine and ale. There's fresh bread as well. Please, he says, make yourselves comfortable. And by the way, the two unconscious party members, along with Keros's body, that is draped in a cloth, quite respectfully draped in a cloth, is brought in beside you. And he closes the door. He doesn't seem particularly perturbed by anything and leaves you to it. And at this stage, the GM is going to head to the loo and have a drink. Be back in a sec.
Except feel all so simple now, right?
Hey?
What are we worrying about? I don't know.
I'm sure.
It's so dodgy.
I'm sure there'll be something to worry about.
So I think our priority is to get Jada asleep, ask them if they've got healers, anyone who's got preservation spells for Keros. That would be amazing if we could.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw Bob up in the rigging, so that's...
Oh, Bob the healer. Fantastic.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. And I think those, yeah, definitely, if they've got any healing, that would be an amazing.
Nicholas would like to be healed.
Yeah, I think a lot of healing going on would be good. And I guess we just tell them what's going on in the cave. I don't know why they needed us for these big boats. I mean, I'm not really sure.
I think it's just a test. A big old test. Do we also ask about getting Keros's pack? So there's a
What's
possibility.
in the pack, Karos, that we
And
is
she
there-
wants a spear.
well, I mean, if they intend to attack the cave, we can get that right. But
Yeah.
is there anything in the pack?
Oh, I honestly can't remember. I
Do you
don't
want me to
think
check
anything. Yeah,
Do you
I
want me to
don't
check
have.
the XP sheets in the
Thanks, Pete.
yeah? There's herbs. I think the only one that spoon of soup. She'd have that on her, wouldn't she? It's just a spoon.
Yeah.
We've got it in mouth, I would have thought.
Strange Escher object, I think, is the only thing on the list of stuff that we've got here that I think should. Otherwise, it's bedroll, cooking pot, tarp, water skins, flint steel, torch, lantern, candles, compass, leather cat toy. Oh, we need that. Spare clothes, rope, cat collar. So otherwise, it looks like she is wearing belt, dagger, longsword. She's got her bow, arrows. Assume we got those, and she's got all of her sort of magical jewellery is on her.
So it's the Escher object, isn't it?
Just the
That was the
I
weird
would say,
object I was thinking of. Yeah.
Which we know is evil. Don't we?
and powerful, highly powerful and dangerous. Dangerous, used to create something. Is what the notes say.
Right. Be good to have it if we can, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, folks. GM is back. You are, you're in this stateroom, cabin room, whatever you want to call it, on board this quite plain but very nice ship. I'll quickly go around each character and tell me what they're doing. We will start off with, if anything, Demos. Is there anything in particular you're doing?
Has he still got the oar?
Up to you, I guess. But weird.
No, I don't think it's weird for Demos. I feel like he would have taken that. It's similar to a spear. He's got an affinity for it.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I feel like he's admiring his oar.
Great.
And checking on Victory.
Okay. Victory has been very, very quiet since Keros's death some 2 hours ago. 2.5 hours ago. She's just barely left Keros's side. Very quiet. Anything else from Demos?
No, just keeping an eye on the cat and admiring his oar.
Great. Cool. Going up my list, Gray.
Gray would be tending to Wingy.
Okay.
And he'd probably also want to see Keros and kind of just, I don't know, take it in.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Keros, some pretty horrific things happened to her. She's blackened and, her rib cage is opened up, basically. She's a mess. Pretty horrible.
Yeah. I guess I'd maybe want to put something over the painfully looking bits, maybe like a sheet or a bit of fabric, just to kind of...
The people on the ship did that already. They were kind enough to cover her. Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Not yet, no. Probably just that.
Is he eating and drinking? Oh, actually, and is Demos, for that matter, as well.
Oh, yes, I guess, yeah. Maybe not eating too much, but he would definitely have a drink.
Okay. Tarquin.
He would be eating his fill, stashing away anything that looked like it might be preservable in a couple of pockets, and lying down to get a rest.
There's a pretty good couple of sausages that Tarquin kind of stuffs into a couple of bits of clothing. A wedge of cheese he wraps up in a piece of cheesecloth. Anything else?
Perfect. He'd want to be doing that. He'd want to eat his fill and go lie down somewhere, get a rest.
Sure. Yeah, there's some comfortable seating, and there's a decent sized actual bed as opposed to a hammock in this stateroom. A couple of them actually.
It sounds good.
Cool. Jada, fair to say Jada would be trying to get some rest as well. She's been trying to rest and go up a level, and of course she's managed to get like half an hour's sleep, and then she's been rudely awakened. So, what consensus? What do you think Jada would be doing, folks?
Leif was going to talk with her, and Leif was going to was wanting to get from her what he needed to talk to the people on the ship about what Keros needed. Because he's full on, Keros isn't gone, he's holding out hope for her. So that's what's keeping his grieving at bay at the moment.
Okay.
So yeah, if once they'd had the conversation, then yeah, he would encourage her to go to sleep. I would agree.
Okay. All right. Thank you. If anybody disagrees, tell me. But let's go with that. Mitham?
She would eat, drink, and she would actually offer healing to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I mean, because I suppose when you're down and hit, you feel like shit. So yeah.
Yeah.
And she would support Leif in that conversation, as she's perhaps got a bit more medical or healing knowledge than, she might understand what Jada was saying more. I don't know. If she'd support where she needed to, but she'd eat and then heal if people wanted to, heal hits and then go to sleep.
Oh, very good. Where did I put my water bottle? There I put my water bottle. Next on my list, Leif, you've already said you're having a chat with Jada, having a bit to eat and drink as well, I'm assuming, or not, up to you.
Yes, would he have had an opportunity to talk to the guy before he left? Because he would want to.
He could try, sure.
Yep, he would want. I mean, he'd look for support with charismatic people, but if he would have called Jada over because his priority is to get Keros seen to, and so he'd want to catch that guy and request healers, and to the best of his ability explain what's needed. Needing someone who has got preservation spells to cast on our friend to stop her body deteriorating, basically, to her brain.
I'm sorry, says the gentleman. I'm not in a position to help you.
Understood.
Anything else from Leif?
No. So he's got that answer. So he would eat, and he'd probably stay up, but want I suppose we'll keep watches and stuff will be available if people come in to want to discuss. But he will at some point take sleep too.
Okay, cool.
I guess in reality, Chris, if Tarquin had overheard that conversation, he'd turn on all of his charm and do his living best to persuade him otherwise. But if he's busy eating it or lying down, he wouldn't.
Well, fair to say, Tarquin does his absolute level best. This gentleman he's polite but very firm, that he's really not entering into conversation. Make yourself comfortable, have something to eat and drink, relax, recover your strength, but that's it. He really doesn't want to speak with you. So, yeah, I mean, give me a charm roll if you really want, but it's you can always try in this game, but it will be at a substantial negative. But give me a go if you want.
Yeah, 40 worth the punt.
Yep, worth the punt, absolutely. Niathel.
She's conscious.
No, good question. Sorry, good point. Nicholas, so you're kind of in and out of waves of pain, and your upper legs are just in utter agony, Nicholas. But you are aware of what's going on. You can speak, you can act.
To the same guy, he'd be as pathetic as it would take to try and get some help for pain relief. He does not have pride in that sort of way. He would be appealing to that guy.
Okay.
And also he would want to ask, where are things? What are we doing on this ship? What's the next step for us? What's happening next for us?
Yep. Nothing.
No response from his question, and no help for the pain. Yep.
Correct. Anything else from Nicholas?
No, he'll just try and find somewhere to be, to try and sleep. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. So I did forget to say, Leif would of course go and spend time with Keros' body too, and comfort Victory as well.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay. Yep. Tanya, Etienne, and Seren.
Etienne would just like to broach quietly with the group, suggesting that if there's any objections, if you just keep some of Karios' most precious belongings safe for her, notably the dagger and some of her jewellery, so that all being well, we can give it back to her, but just keeping it safe while she's in the state she's in.
Wise move. Yep.
So if everyone's happy with that, he'd remove the various bits of jewellery and also the dagger and so forth, and stash that away.
Sure thing.
Severin would talk to Mithan about what they could do for Nicholas, and also consider actually whether he might get some assistance with the poultice. We've got some of this carefree mustard stuff that actually can bring all your hits back in an hour if it's prepared, if it's put in a poultice or something. But I wondered if Mithan would help with that.
She can help, certainly help. Her where is it? I'm looking for herb use, because that would be, I think, what's needed.
Yes.
Why can't I see it on my sheet? Herb law, there we go. Yeah, she's only got 33. I have a feeling that Jadar has got a better skill in preparing herbs. So perhaps before Jadar sleeps, we could ask Jada to do the preparation, if that wouldn't take too long out of her sleep.
Sure.
Okay. And Severin? Oh, that was Severin's act.
That was Severin. Tanya will have some to eat, yeah, I mean, I don't think she'll do much else. She's probably just a bit knackered.
You will, yes. So with a poultice, oops, you do need to boil it. So a poultice, take 10 rounds to apply, to prepare, 5 rounds to apply, and you do need, typically boiling utensils, cloth, mortar and pestle, etc. So you'd need some method to make a fire, grind up the paste, and then turn it into kind of a paste, basically. No immediate fire in the vicinity, I'm afraid.
I wonder if that can wait then. Perhaps just rest and natural healing, and Mithan's happy to do some spells, but over to Severin, but...
Yeah, no, it's all good. They're all good.
Okay. Some time passes. You go about staring and fondling girthy oars, comforting victory, mourning for all of you, some of you at least. The immediate panic and the horror and the combat down at the foot of that horrible cliff that you hope you'll never see again. It is now receding, the adrenaline levels are coming down, and you just think about the toll that this has taken. There is Keros's body, with no heart and no lungs. There is Niathanel and Askell unconscious, Nicholas with his badly burnt legs, others that have been severely knocked down on hits. And probably the trauma and the shock of what you've just experienced is probably hitting home a bit. It's good to have something to eat, it's comforting to have something to drink, and you wait. Probably about 3/4 of an hour go past. Really good to have something in your belly. And there's a polite at the door. And a voice in Westron says, "May I come in?"
Please do.
The door opens. Oh, I'm just getting a little bit of feedback, guys, so I don't know if someone wants to mute. And this man is standing here, the man you saw on the boat who waved to you. He's his face, his beard, his moustache is all very much the same, and his demeanor is very much the same. Smiling. The clothing he's wearing is not. He's not dressed as he is there. He's quite a big man. He would stand probably 6'3", 6'4", and he's solid. He's not fat, but he's a big man. Probably quite muscular in his youth. He's wearing very nondescript clothes. He's wearing just a quite nice, but not particularly flash, white linen shirt, dark pants, and reasonably good quality boots. He has a short sword at his side. Well, he says, and he looks around the room. Here they are. Here they are indeed. Severin Kaidegard. Well met to you. And he nods. And then he turns to Jada. Our bashful healer from the land of the Arabs. Jada, it is nice to see you. And Grey. Beastmaster from the north. Man of few words, but very rigid nipples. It's good to finally meet you properly. Askell, well, I see your other Arab gentleman is a tad indisposed. Is he all right? Is he all right?
Sorry, we didn't get to do that. Mithan was going to do diagnostics, and so she would have in this space and time. Sorry.
So he's okay. He's just unconscious.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, is Severin all act friendly and get up and shake his hand?
Yep. No, he warmly shakes your hand. Yes. Is he all right? He says.
Who are we referring to?
Oh,
Askell.
Mithan will give a curt reply that he's fine. Thanks.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Very good. And Nicholas. Oh, I see you've been in the wars, my friend. Looking at Nicholas, kind of wincing in pain through his teeth. Yes, you're bookish, green, blue skin, but want to be Thracian, I suspect. And lastly, the poor little rich girl herself, Tanya Anastasia. Well met. It is very nice to see you in person, or rather, to see you in person again, because of course I have seen you many times. Well, not many times, but I've certainly seen you on at least 2 occasions. I've been next to you, but you have not seen me. It's very nice to meet you properly in person, and with that he provides a very deep bow at all of Twilight. And then he turns, and he says, and here they are. The bloody headsman band themselves. The champions of Ely, nonetheless. Or, depending on your flavour, the assassins of Pytha. Well met, Etienne. Noble warrior of the lady. Good to meet you too, Leif. Jovial half-elf from the north. And Mithan. Again, Mithan, I have been next to you, and it's nice to meet you in person. And he gives not only just a smile at Mithan, but a wink as well. And he kind of looks a little bit puzzled. And where is your assassin with a cause? Oh, there she is. Nathaniel, is she quite well?
We're not quite sure.
I see. And the little girl with the cat, Keros, the Storm Mage. Where is she?
Etienne will say, sadly passed.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's no good at all, is it? That's very sad. And who are you? He says, looking at Tarquin. I don't know you.
Tarquin will wave at him. Hi, I'm Tarquin. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And where do you hail from, son?
Out north, my friend.
Very good, very good. Well met. As I say, I have met you, or I have certainly been next to you. I've walked alongside you, but I haven't properly met you. And here they are, as I say, the bloody headsman band, looking at the hero party, the champions of Ely, and the assassins of Pytha. Nice to see you. Good to see you all. Me, he says. Oh, sorry. Me. You can call me Jackin, or Wilhelm, or Frankus, or frankly, whatever you like, because none of them are my name. So, he says, kind of rubbing his hands together and looking around, how was Jewel Island?
Terrible place for a mini break.
Yes. He says yes. Go on.
Well, it's throughout.
Sorry, I missed one. Beg my pardon. I'm really sorry. I always do this. Missed one. Demos, he said, noble spearman from the south. Very good to make your acquaintance too. Nice legs, he puts in. Sorry, Demos, he missed you before. Sorry, Severin.
Severin was just saying he'll give it threw up some challenges. Unfortunately, there were two other parties who seemed to be tasked with a similar mission to our own, and that threw up some problems. And one of those parties was Roldenic, as I'm sure you seem to know a lot about us, so therefore you can understand why that was a little tricky. And yes, they were very well entrenched in that cave, and we threw everything at it. But as you can see, we paid rather heavily, as did the other party who we allied ourselves with. But most of us are alive. Sorry, friend, I realise you don't want to give away your name, but could we trouble you to explain a little bit about yourself and why we're here and what's next? And
all in good time. All in good time, friend Severin. All in good time. Hasty, aren't you? Have some more wine, please. You must have been thirsty after all that. Yes, I'm sure it was quite a challenge. Have no fear, he says, and he kind of brushes it aside. Look, as we speak, we've got at least 100, maybe 150 men, plus spell users assaulting that cave. No one will leave it alive. I am confident to say. Well, yes, you mentioned the other groups. Well, you and they, you shouldn't feel too hard on yourselves. You shouldn't berate yourselves too much. You really shouldn't. I'm sure you did your very best, he said. I mean, you are, after all, the B team, or maybe the C or the D team. And he says, kind of looking around at your faces, please don't take offence, but if you were in my employer's shoes and you were trying to solve some of the things that confront this world, if you were my employers, honestly, would you choose you? No. The real teams will be out there getting on with the mission. Quietly. Behind the scenes. Like professionals. while you have been, well, a tad obvious, wouldn't you say? You know, Saviors of M.E.R.P, Assassins of Pyther, Bloody Headsman Band, Champions of Elite. I mean, please don't feel bad, because you've probably been doing the real teams, the people that are actually, you know, the A teams, the proper people that my employers are no doubt tasked with doing important missions. You've actually been probably helping them in a way, and I don't want you to be hard on yourselves, but you've actually probably been helping. You've been doing a very good job by being a decoy, taking attention away from, you know, the professionals. And I don't mean that unkindly or unpleasantly, but if you were some of the most powerful people, the most powerful people in the world, would you choose you?
With respect, sir, we were chosen. We didn't volunteer. This is circumstance. This is where we find ourselves.
Is it?
We didn't put our hands up for this.
Is it circumstance?
I'd say so.
Look, I guess you really never didn't have a chance, did you? Hunted as soon as you accidentally tripped over Tikos, either in the North Sea on some strange archaeological dig, or wandering around the wastelands of Narth. I mean, frankly, you really didn't have a choice. The spy authorities are already hunting you for sure, and they will kill you. I mean, I guess you should probably rest assured that it's probably just all nonsense anyway. It's just, yet again, some stupid Tikos wild goose chase, just as it was last time. A complete and utter waste of everybody's time, in my opinion. I think it's all going to come to nothing, and it's just, frankly, a storm in a teacup, just like last time. So look, as I say, I wouldn't be too hard on yourselves, you know, about being, well, who you are. It's probably a good description.
No, absolutely, and I wouldn't want your employers to be too hard on themselves either. You know, the fact that there's these missions running around and Tikos are scouring the whole nations, endangering the world, getting away with God knows what everywhere. I wouldn't want your employers to blame themselves either, because they can't be everywhere at once. How can they be? And the fact that people like Korvac Kapalis are running rife around the place, planning God knows what. I mean, they can't be everywhere. They haven't got infinite resources of cash at the oh no, they have, haven't they? Where are they, and what are they doing, sir? I'm really interested to know, because we're just a band of people who found ourselves in these circumstances. We've stumbled across these, I assume, your masters, and sorry, but we don't really see an awful lot going on. And it could be that we don't see it, and that's fine. And frankly, if someone else will take care of this godforsaken mess, brilliant. We'll get on with living our lives. But at the moment, we're just not seeing that. So if you could put our minds at rest that actually someone's got this, brilliant. That's a weight off our minds considerably.
Oh yes, there will be professionals that will be no doubt tasked with this. I think. I don't know for sure, because of course my masters only tell me a very select piece of information. I'm just simply going on my inference. In terms of going on and living your lives, well, you can if you wish, but I'd imagine they'd be rather short, don't you? The Thracians might want to have a word with you. Probably the Arabs would like to say hi. Tikos are definitely going to be hunting you down. And you have, as I said before, you have, and it's appropriate to be polite, and I think it's appropriate to say thank you. So, and again, I don't know if this is my employer's design, but I'm going to say thank you to you for being so visible, for creating so much distractions, for allowing the spy agencies around the world and Tikos themselves to focus on you while the others can be going about their business. So I would like to say thank you. I think that's very selfless of you. Very selfless. So, in terms of what next, well, there were three. There were three of you. There were three groups. And you came second. Had you fired the signal first, you would have got money, contacts, and transport. Instead, you forfeit money. The third team, by the way, we haven't seen or heard from them, so goodness knows what happened to them. So, you get access to both contacts and transport to whatever destination you wish to go. When I say contacts, I am talking here safe houses, I am talking here methods of transportation, and I can go into some detail about what that transportation would look like, and ways of moving unseen and with relative safety about the world to any destination that your two groups, the Assassins of Pytha, and he turns to the hero party, or the Saviours of Narth, and he turns to the Twilight party, wherever your two groups wish to go. I can't give you money, but I have orders to make sure that you are connected up to the network. And I can describe the network more in detail and how it works in a second. The question that you need to decide is, where do you want to go? And I will take you there. At no cost, I should be mentioned. What a stunned silence! Cat got your tongue, and he looks at Victory.
So, what are your people doing about the task at hand? And I don't mean distributing weapons. I mean the big game, the thing that matters. No games, no little big brothers. I mean the iron shower. You know what I'm speaking of.
No idea, he says.
Well, be handy to know. There's no secrets here.
I don't know.
Wow.
I am tasked, as is the network, I am tasked with a set job. My job is to meet you here, debrief you, and I would like to hear in detail about what happens to you on Jewel Island and a bit later on tonight. And then my task is to provide you with contacts and transport to get you to anywhere in the world you wish to go.
I think Tarquin will pipe up what contacts, what network.
Certainly. So, my masters have people scattered all over the world who are paid to help. The vast majority of these people will actually have no idea who they're being paid by. All they know is that once a month, in a designated spot, there will be money waiting for them. Not a vast amount of wealth, but absolutely enough to make their and their family lives more comfortable. Now, some of these people will go for many months, even years sometimes, without being called on. But they do need to send in a report once a month. What they know is that the regular, easy money will cease if they stop putting in the reports, so they continue. These contacts can provide all manner of assistance: travel advice, guiding, safe houses, basic clothes and food. On rare occasions, they may be able to procure basic weapons too. Typically, these people are in professions that allow them to move about without being questioned. Merchants are quite common, but also travelling priests, tax collectors, sailors, tinkers, adventurers, mercenaries, fishermen, hunters, trappers, regular guides, and the like. There are handlers, our handlers, in each of the regions who manage these people. Your host in any particular location will not ask any questions, nor will they rather they'll take an active disinterest in you. Their only task is to get rid of you as fast as possible as required and on to the next person. And depending on the situation, getting rid of you may take hours, days, weeks, months. I can go on, I can tell you more if you wish. I can tell you a lot more if I wish, how this network works.
Go on.
Well, other than their first names, which you'll be told before you leave your previous hosts, not their real name, of course, you will learn nothing about them. You will just simply tell them where you want to go, and if you need anything by the way of basic food, clothing, or transport. Depending on the circumstances, they may be able to loan you a boat, horses, carts, etc., but you'll be expected to return them. All of your hosts will have safe houses or some kind of refuge. Some of these locations will be more pleasant than others. Once you tell your hosts of where you want to go next, you must wait a minimum of 7 days, sometimes as much as 10 days, to make arrangements and check with their handlers. Part of their service to us, even though most of them have no idea who us is, many of them think they're serving local lords and ladies and so on, is that their hosts are expected to be within 7 to 10 days ability to contact the handlers. Interestingly enough, my masters have a arrangement with the Navigators Guilds, and you will be able to move safely from Navigator Column to Navigator Column with little or no interference or indeed prying eyes. And at all of this, all of you are frankly dumbfounded, because one of the absolute tenets in this world, one of the key aspects of this world, is the navigators, the ability, people that are able to travel and help people travel, commonly by teleportation, but sometimes just simply act as guides from these columns of black stone, which a number of you have experienced in this world over the time, are utterly uncorruptible. It's like the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. It's just not up for discussion. There are stories about people who have tried to corrupt the navigators, or cheat, even worse, cheat the navigators. And all of those stories are utterly horrific. No one ever manages to best a navigator. So, what you've just heard from this man, that his masters, whoever they are, have influence, power perhaps, over the navigators, is awe-inspiring. It would be something equivalent in our world to saying you had access to being able to travel on Air Force One discreetly. That really surprises every single one of you. He goes on. Treachery does happen, so be on your guard, but generally this is reasonably rare. As mentioned, there is a very good chance that your host doesn't know who they're working for and likely has no idea and frankly no interest in who you are and what you're doing. They just simply want that regular money to come through, generally, that they don't have to do anything for. they might go, as I said before, months, sometimes years, without having to do any work. That's quite a nice little earner. You don't need to pay your hosts anything, and nor should they ask you for anything. If they do, you must report them to your next host. Now, things happen on the road, and really, though sometimes your host may not show. You're advised to get away from wherever you would be told to meet your host as fast as possible and lie low for a time. Then, when you deem it to be safe, you need to make it to a navigator column, summon a navigator, and then when the navigator arrives, show them this. He holds up one of these. For some of you, this is a relatively familiar object. This is a currency or a coin, a token, if you will, which provides a certain amount of coinage. How would you term it? Wealth amongst navigators. So you rather than paying gold, although you can of course pay gold for navigator services, you can also pay with these tokens, and each token is given a particular weight. He takes out a very fine piece of metal, a small pin, in fact, and at the very top up here, he wedges the pin into where you can see up there by the blue, and puts it into an almost microscopic hole and twists, and there's a click and a slight whirring from inside this quite small, it's only about this big, coin. And as he does that, all of the pieces of blue that you can see there change to red. It says show the navigator this coin, show them this coin specifically, and show them that you have turned it red, and then you have certain passwords to say. You simply say, I'm the seeker of the truth and of the righteous way, can you show me? You will have a response, only the righteous may tread. You then respond, I hold my course and the way is true. And they should be able to help. So, there you have it, friends. You could have had contacts and transport, which you do have, and money, but not to be sneezed at, you have a massive global network of people who are paid to ask very few questions and to get you as efficiently from point A to point B without prying eyes. What questions do you have for me? And then I need to know more about Jewel Island. And then he sits back, belches, smiles, picks up an ale and starts sipping his ale.
Can we have the past phrases put into the
of course
game lore thing? Thank you. I didn't write them down fast enough.
I think we'll probably need to compare notes, right? And then come, in terms of what we want to do. Obviously, priority is going to be finding a healer, but
yeah, in terms of destinations for each party, you mean?
Huh?
Do you mean in terms of destination for each party?
All that stuff, yeah, but also questions. We're probably better just comparing notes, right?
Yep. I think the first question is, and Leif would start with that, would be inquiring after help for Kiros.
Yeah.
Right now.
The girl's dead, isn't she?
Yeah, he would explain the same request for preservation spells.
Do we have healers on this? Healers of sufficient skill on this vessel? It says, asking to himself, and the GM is going to roll a dice, and let's find out. We have healers, he says. Will they have that sufficient skill? There is a 60% chance they do. Here's the dice roll. No, he says. We have lower level. We weren't expecting that much trouble. And frankly, these are mercenaries. We've got basic healing, mending bones and that type of thing.
Healing muscle, we would, if we can avail ourselves of services of healing bones and muscles, we've got people who need that.
Yes, I can get some healers sent to you.
Thank you very much.
I think Tarquin had asked, what gods do your masters serve?
What an interesting question. I don't know. I've never actually asked them, to be honest. But I suspect all of them.
And what do they want?
Well, again, I don't know myself. By the way, why do we still have the sound of waves rushing up on the shore? Terribly bad form. There we go. That's better. What do they want? What do you mean?
Well, what is their ultimate aim here? And what do they want from us?
Again, I haven't asked them, and perhaps you should ask them yourselves, but I would imagine they wish the old order.
And if we are a sideshow, then why, what use are we of to them?
I don't know.
How can we meet your masters?
Or have we already met the masters?
Oh, was that a question to me, he says?
It certainly was.
I don't know. Certainly when I saw you last, I would say that you met my masters, yes.
Right.
As I say, I saw you, you didn't see me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've got to figure out what we want to do, haven't we?
Leif will also say that there's some. Are we possessions still on Jewel Island? What are the chances of us reclaiming those? A spear outside the cave and a pack up on the top of the cliffs.
Oh, yes, certainly.
Great, thank you.
Can you give me the locations of those, and I'll easily get those sent to. And by the way, he does take out a notebook out of his pants, and he is absolutely writing down requests for healers, the request for the spear and the packs.
And Leif will respond to his hints and will say, "Oh, where were you that we didn't see you but you saw us?" Because Leif's a polite person. He's dropping those hints and he obviously wants to be asked about them, so Leif will indulge him.
Oh, in Jebai Ritana. Jebai Ritana.
Makes sense.
I don't live there, but I was there. Oh, come now, don't look so glum. You should be happy. Off that miserable island, it did look pretty horrible, frankly. And you're mostly all alive.
I think we mostly need to retire, sleep, recover, wait for your healers, and have a discussion about what next, if that's alright.
Certainly. Well, I'll get the healers sent to you imminently. And is that perhaps a good place to end it, guys?
Yep. I was going to say, what's going to happen to those weapons?
I'm sorry, Grey of the lustrous nipples. What was the question?
What's going to happen to all those weapons that we were supposed to get?
Oh, they will
I'm
find
doing
good.
everything.
They will find good homes. Don't worry. Would you like some?
Sure.
Oh, what would you like?
What have we got?
I don't know yet. We've yet. I mean, we've yet to take the cave, but as I say, I don't think that will take much longer.
You're taking. Sorry, you go.
Oh no! Anything that is like a PowerPoint multiplier would be wonderful.
Oh, no, I think short swords and crossbows are slightly more in order. There might be some poisons.
Yeah, maybe some poisons.
Also, we did not get a chance to claim some spoils of a kill. And Leif would indicate Severin. There was a body floating in the water outside the cave, and he would describe the flying sword man, and request that perhaps his possessions might be, recovered for us.
That might be a little bit harder to do because, well, maybe not. Our mercenaries are well trained. I'll see what I can do. And you, gentle Demos, I see you like the oar, by the way.
Yes, it's nice.
Good. Do you have a thing for oars? Is it awesome?
Oh.
It feels nice in my hand.
Oh dear, it feels nice in your hand. Good. Very good. Any last questions for Jackin, Wilhelm, Frankus, or whatever you want to call them?
Well, I was wondering if we could maybe continue this on next time,
Yeah, sure.
and then we've got time to figure out what we want to do.
Yep. All right. Shall we call it? Just to check, I want to make sure that everybody's has their chance in the spotlight. Anything else from either Grey or Demos or Tarquin or Mithan, Leif, Nicholas through gritted teeth.
No.
Leave it there.
No, nice to have this resolved, have to say. To be sort of safe.
Okay, excellent.
Relative safety is very nice.
Excellent. Well, there we go, guys. That is where we're going to leave it for this session. Hope you had fun, as always.
It was great, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah. Oh, so Sunday. Oh, shoot, Sunday.
We only got till Sunday to have some discussions then.
Yes.
Perhaps.
And I owe the hero party a document that I never finished. It was one of Ningwen's documents, which I will absolutely haul ass on to get you in the next couple of days. Or Sunday.
Which document was that?
There was a document from Ningwen which provided different options and ideas and background and some background information. It was half finished. I never finished it. I still owe it to you. Yep. Alright guys, happy planning and scheming and thinking and hoping.